Mother, man.
Welcome to Murder Metal Mayhem. I am your prophet. I will shit on you.
Spreading faster than a case of the clap in a trailer court. Able to shatter eardrums within a 666-mile radius. A podcast more brutal than all the rest. It's Murder Metal Mayhem!
What's going on,
What's
gentlemen?
happening, everyone? Fuck yeah.
It's fucking Tuesday, and that means only one thing here at Horns High Studios for the Horns High Podcast Network, and that's doing some
Murder Metal Mayhem, bitches.
You know it, man.
I'm doing some murderous dabs right now because it's 420.
Episode 135 going down tonight. Going back to the cult leaders, guys. We've done a few.
Yes, sir.
And this should be a good one. I'm pretty anxious to get to this.
It's super interesting.
Yeah, it's different, that's for sure. Of course, I got Joey and Chris here with me, and as Joey correctly pointed out, it is April 20th, which is, of course, 420. And, you know, I was pissed I didn't think of this earlier. We should have done Murder Mountain for this week. Would have been good. Right. The pot farms up in Northern California. Crazy shit.
Yeah. That
really
is
crazy shit. Well worth doing an episode on if you've not watched that docuseries, Murder Mountain. I think it was on Netflix, but it's really good. But that would be a good one. Maybe next year we'll do it.
Also, so next year, 420 is on a Wednesday.
Okay.
So Patreon could get it, but another one I thought would be good would obviously be Columbine.
Oh, yeah.
Because that happened on 420.
That's true.
So I was thinking about that today, and I was like, man, maybe next year it'll fall in.
I've been itching to do Columbine, though. Yeah.
But
that's
no, with the Pot Mountain, though.
Yeah. Yeah, Humboldt County, Murder Mountain, crazy shit. So maybe next year. But, and then... Not to mention just a weird day today, but the fucking snow on April 20th.
April 20th.
Are you fucking kidding? All day long it was snowing.
Stupid, dude.
It didn't
I was just
stick, but it was just
out
dumb.
in my yard over the weekend in a t-shirt, drinking beer, playing bags, fucking hanging out.
You remember fucking Heart of Illinois Fest 5?
Yeah, straight up, dude.
Fucking brought my boys from Texas, Georgia, all of them came up to Greg's, camped out.
Oh, yeah, that was when
there.
Michael slept in the barn?
Yeah,
and then the fucking snowstorm fucking hit.
That's right.
And they're from Texas.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they were losing their shit. That's funny.
But no, it was about the same time, though.
That's
Pretty
true.
much,
I didn't think about that. I remember that now. Now, what shirts we got here tonight in the studio, Chris? What you got?
Speaking of George and them from Texas, I have on my Horrid Demise shirt.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Very
fuck
cool.
yeah, dude.
Very cool. Yeah, those guys are badass at that show.
Hell yeah.
Joey, what about you, man?
I'm wearing my Chicago Domination Fest 5 hoodie. CDF, one of the biggest underground brutal shows, obviously in Chicago, put on by my buddy Miguel, who was in Virulent Excision.
Yeah, hell yeah. Very cool. And then I'm sporting my Rotten Cotton, my Damien Omen shirt. Love the fucking shirt. The quality is really good. And, of course, they're a sponsor, but legit, I'm wearing the shirt because I like it, and it's fucking cool as hell.
And you can get the Damien shirt yourself with a 15% discount if you put Mayhem in the discount code.
That's right. Yeah. So we've already had listeners taking advantage of that, so that's good. Now, last week, we had a killer time celebrating our 3-year anniversary. That was kind of crazy, featuring the Starved Rock murders.
Fuck yeah.
A good one that, Joey, you brought to the table. Triple homicide from 1960 here in Illinois in a state park, not very far from where we are.
And we had the fucking foremost author on the subject, Steve Stout, interview with us.
Steve was awesome. I did send him the link. I haven't gotten a response yet, so I don't know if he's listened to, or if he's like freaked out, or if he dug it. I don't know. But he was pretty cool, though. I'm sure he won't mind. But we did warn him. But anyway, Steve did that.
Did you tell him that you were going to release the interview by itself? Too?
I did, and I sent him that too. He's got both.
Sweet.
We played a part of that interview that we did with him, and then we're releasing the entire thing actually the day after this comes out. The 23rd is going to be the day that the full Steve Stout interview, 63 minutes long, is really good. So go check it out. CK, of course, featured the band Enforced, which is really cool.
Fucking Virginia.
Yeah, little crossover hardcore metal act, fucking killer though. We played a clip from that interview, and that was released on Friday, and that's done very well so far, about 500 or so, 550 listens. We had a good, though, epic killer cage match.
Dude, the Killer Cage
That
match
was
is so
nuts.
fun.
Yeah, it actually turned out pretty good when I listened back to it. I was like, that actually turned out pretty good.
I finally listened to that episode yesterday.
Oh,
It took
did
me
you?
a little bit, but I listened to it, and the cage match, that shit was fucking funny
That
as
was
hell.
funny. It was like old time radio with all the sound effects
Yeah.
on the fly and stuff. Which
It
is
reminded me
pretty
of
fun.
like Cheech and Chong whenever they did their
The
comedy
records and
shit.
shit.
Oh,
And they did
yeah.
a wrestling one too.
Right.
Pretty funny though.
That is funny. But we had Punky Brooks, and of course the character that Joey you've brought to the table doing some Punky, and then CK doing the weepy voice killer, Chris going by WVK.
WVK.
And that was fucking hilarious. And WVK was the winner.
He did.
Punky dropped the chainsaw when his pants kept falling down.
Sagging, man.
WVK got the chainsaw, fucked him up. Punky left, though, alive, so
Yeah,
he's still out there. So who knows? We might do that again.
Fucking rematch. from
Lots of
hell.
listeners fucking dug on that. And you never know, Chris. We might have some new characters show
I'm
up.
sure.
you know?
Motherfuckers are going to start going for the title, dude.
Right? So I've been hearing some whispers about a possible character coming out of the New Orleans somewhere down there. We'll see. We'll see. But I've heard some whispers of that. So we'll see about it. But we had a lot of listeners dig on that, which is awesome. So if you missed all that crazy shit, go check out episode 134. It was a great way to celebrate another milestone here in Murder Metal Mayhem.
Okay, right.
Just past 1,200 listens to that one. I checked it this afternoon, so that's cool. Tonight, though, as mentioned, got a good one. Another killer cult leader, man. We've done a few. Chris, we went like the 3 years we've done this, we've only done one with David Koresh. And
then
then
all of a
we
sudden-
did Jim Jones, L. Ron Hubbard, and now we're
And now we're
doing.
doing fucking Jeffrey Lundgren. So.
Yeah, so kind of crazy that we've
If he
done a
wasn't a
bunch
cult
in the
leader,
str-
I don't know who the fuck is, dude.
He is, yeah. He's the poster boy. This
Yeah.
motherfucker
God.
was the one doing the killing
Damn.
too. It wasn't like he was like Jim Jones,
Right.
like making other people do his bidding. This
Yeah,
is
he's-
him like packing the fucking heat and fucking blowing them away. I mean,
Whatever.
pretty brutal. A self-proclaimed prophet and mass murderer. And we'll talk about this execution of an entire fucking family of 5. I mean, horrible. 3 of them were kids in 1989 in Kirtland, Ohio, which is just east of Cleveland. But Joey, you had a personal tie to the, to this whole case.
Yeah.
In a
Slightly,
way, in
yeah.
a way. So that'll be an interesting thing to talk about when we get into the murder segment.
Yeah.
So I'm anxious to hear about that. We have CK warming up, guys, ready to throw the fuck down. He's fired up. He's going to be talking about a fucking legend, Zach Wilde, of course, Ozzy guitar player, Black
Right.
Label Society. He's a fucking madman.
Harley metal.
Yeah, and CK's going to be all fired up.
He's going to be cranking hogs down
yeah.
Wild Man Street.
He's been all decked out in leather and metal spikes and randomly attacking people that are brave enough to walk down that fucking street. I mean, you would think,
You think by now motherfuckers are like, I ain't going near that shit.
especially on a Tuesday, because they
Yeah.
know that's when he's out.
Come on, man.
That's when he's fired up. So we'll hear about that in the metal segment. Killer cage match tonight, a regular match. Will be a lot less wild than the one before, but a good one. And Chris, we got a few listeners we want to say thank you to.
Yes, we do. We have CK's own wife, Laura Kovacs.
That's right.
What's
Yeah.
up, Laura? Thank you. We got Mason Robertson. What's up, homie? Thank you for the number. And we got Rebecca Boomsock once again coming in for that win. Hell
Awesome.
yeah. Thanks, Rebecca.
Yeah, those 3 were the first to put the numbers down. I always laugh when we get like 2 or 3 commenters, and so the numbers are all figured out. People just keep adding numbers to
Yeah.
it. Like, I just like it. Like, cool. I'm just thinking, like, man, we've already got all the
At least they're
numbers.
jumping in, though.
Of course. Tonight we got a good matchup.
Maybe they have all the other people fucking, or they're blocked, or they're they're all enemies, so they can't see the
You can't
comments.
see
They're
it.
like,
That's a good point. Who knows, right? We got a good matchup tonight, though, Joey. Who do we got in the cage?
We got the man with no face, the Zodiac Killer.
Right.
And then he's going to go up against Canada's own redneck, fucking Robert Stinky Picton.
Yeah.
Now, he might not have his pigs with him in the cage match.
That's right.
But he's going to have his fucking BO.
His
He's gonna have
stinkiness.
that
Yeah. We just did Russell Francois, or Kendall Francois.
Francois.
I'm still doing that. Kendall Francois, the stinky serial
If
killer.
we tried to
so-
have a cage match with Kendall
Oh.
Francois and Picton,
Picton?
nobody would be there because it would smell so bad. No one would know
It would
what
be
happened.
awful, man. Imagine how bad either of those motherfuckers would smell dead, too.
Oh,
Like, God
dude.
damn, you stunk alive. I can't
You were
imagine.
bad the way it was,
Rotting,
yeah.
yeah.
You know, and 420. Gacy, I think, probably had better hygiene, you know, overall.
Right.
Like, he probably showered a little more normal than those two guys and everything. But at the same time, if you live in a home that smells like decayed flesh,
Yeah.
it's got
It
to be
sticks to
on
your
you.
clothes, you
Yeah.
gotta think.
So he was probably
Yeah.
pretty stinky at times, too.
It could have been, yeah. And they're going to have two objects to fight with and a variable to make it interesting. So this should be good. Thanking our buddies at spellboundeffectsandart.com.
Tony.
tearing it up.
Campagna, just an animal.
I've seen some of his newer ones, and they're looking
Oh,
fucking
man.
so fire,
Yeah.
man.
Just keeps coming out with new stuff.
Yeah.
Very, very creative. The bath bombs. Did you see that?
I didn't
I
see
didn't
the
see
bad
that.
He's
one.
got some skull bath bombs that I don't know what comes out of them after.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that's a fucking nice Valentine's Day gift, Chris. You know, buy the girl of your dreams a skull bath bomb
with a
and
body part in it.
probably a fucking body part or a fucking little penis or something. I don't know, fucking who knows, right? So spellboundeffectsandart.com. Go check it out. The great online catalog. Tony's an awesome dude. And our sponsor, also Rotten Cotton. Those guys are
Cotton.
great.
Kick yeah.
Talked about the shirt I'm wearing. I love the website. They get some of the most amazing. If you dig serial killers and horror,
They got a lot of.
They've got
that's their thing.
everything.
That's what they do.
Yeah, and they've got all kinds of cool T-shirts, stickers, buttons. Even their comics and graphic novels are really cool. They've just got some really creative things on there. So
they've been at it for a long time, like super
they have
professional.
been. They have been.
Great
so
reputation.
RottenCotton.com. And Joey, you said it earlier, man. They get 15% off.
Off $20 or more, I mean, get you one shirt.
That's right.
15% off.
Right. If you use the code word mayhem when you check out, and you'll get that 15% off. So go check it out. I got the shirt I ordered very quickly, and this is before we were working with them. I just bought it because I thought it was cool, and got talking with Sean, the guy behind the scenes there. And so go check him out, RottenCotton.com. Thanks to everybody out there listening to Murder Metal Mayhem. Keep seeing the numbers
yeah.
rolling in. This week, we're a little lower than last, but that's all right. 2,800 total listens, so that's still awesome. So thank you guys very, very
Thank
much.
you guys. You guys are the shit.
Definitely. And Joey, what do you got? Some page a day for us.
I got a couple here.
All right.
What do we got in page today? I only got 3 here. Okay, so the first one, and this is funny because I think we brought this up. We were talking about serial killers who were related. You got like Hillside Stranglers and
Right.
you know, but overall it's a rare thing to find. Well, there's these two guys, Danny and Larry Raines, and they were from Kalamazoo, Michigan. They were brothers who were both serial killers, but neither one of them had knowledge that the other one was doing it.
No
So
shit.
they weren't doing
Oh,
it together.
wow.
Yeah. So Larry Raines, he killed first. He was 19 years old, and he went on a what he called a killing adventure. So he was just hitchhiking, robbing, and murdering at least 5 people. He did.
That he got.
Yep. And then he ended up getting caught. And then his brother Danny, he was convicted of raping and killing women. And sometimes he had this accomplice. It was a 15-year-old kid named Brent Coster who ended up turning him in whenever, you know, the heat got on him. He fucking turned on him to get a reduced sentence. But Danny Raines.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
man.
And Danny Raines, he was charged with 3 murders. So, yeah, one charged with 5, the other charged with 3. Both brothers,
And
neither
didn't
one of
have
them had any idea.
That's fucking.
That's insane.
Yeah. So,
That's like almost.
That reminds me of the first novel I ever wrote was while I was in the Army, and it's about two brothers that didn't realize that the other was there, but they were both there to assassinate the president at the same time. So that's funny.
That's fucking crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the second one is I never say this guy's name. I've heard of him before, but I think it's Joachim Kroll, or it's Joachim. I'm gonna say Joachim Kroll though, which he's known as Germany's Duisburg man-eater. So the police were searching for a 4-year-old kid, Marion Carter, who was missing in 1976, and whenever they were questioning people in the neighborhood, a neighbor had said that Kroll had said that his toilet was stopped up with guts. He had told them that.
I've heard of this
wow.
before.
And so, so that obviously triggers the police to want to go talk to this guy more.
Right.
So whenever they go investigate, they go into his place and they find human flesh bagged up in the freezer, and they find Kidder's hand, the 4-year-old, in a pot on the stove in a stew with some carrots and potatoes.
Oh my God.
Cooking.
And he just like flush shit down the drain and shit.
And he was in his toilet, like his shit was clogged with fucking organs for real. But
that's fucked up.
so he was also known as the Ruhr Hunter. But anyway, Kroll, he confessed to 14 homicides, mostly young girls, and he, more times than not, he would rape and mutilate the corpse. And after, he would eat parts of them too.
Right.
He loved to masturbate over the battered, bloodied bodies, and he once left so much semen on the face and genitals that the police thought it was more than one attacker.
Jesus
Oh my
Christ.
God.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Jesus.
He regularly sliced off at least pieces to fillet up his steaks. So, he might not take the whole body, but he would get pieces.
Wow.
Immediately following the murders, he would go home and relive them with a rubber fuck doll. And fucking Uncle Joachim, as he was called by the neighborhood kids, he kept child-sized dolls on which he would carry out practice runs, choking them while he masturbated.
Jesus Christ.
So it took them
what the fuck?
it took them like 20 years to catch him, from the time that he committed his first till, the guy, or they were doing the investigation for the 4-year-old.
Jesus.
But they said mostly is because there were so many other suspects. And there was like one person who
How many people could you expect would do that?
yeah. And there was
That's
like one
fucked.
person who confessed to like one of the homicides, even though they didn't. It was something.
Yeah,
fucked up,
that happens, isn't it? Weird?
Right. Yeah, we hear that. So that happened, and then there was another guy who was put under suspicion for one of the missing girls because it was like his fiance or something like that. And the guy ended up like so distraught over the public like coming down on him and all that shit, and he fucking killed himself.
Oh, wow.
Which, I mean, that's another victim of this guy, really.
Sure, right.
So, I mean, so his motive for killing and cannibalism, whenever they were talking to him, afterwards, after he was caught or whatever, he said it was to keep his grocery bill down.
Frugal shopper.
Yeah. So
Wow.
that was,
you ever heard of a blue light fucking special?
I know,
Fool?
right?
Jesus
God damn.
Christ.
so that was Joachim
That's
Kroll,
fucked up. Joaquin Kroll. Wow. Where was he from again?
Germany.
Germany. Jesus.
So
Brutal.
from Duisburg. But okay, so the last one I got, thanks to Page a Day once again, and this is actually today's April 20th, 420.
Nice.
Nice.
But what they're talking about is they were talking about the most anatomically evocative headline in the history of American journalism.
Oh, wow.
And that was by the New York Post, who right here in this thing, it just says headless body and topless bar. That was the headline on the front of this fucking newspaper. So
Wow.
this is 1983. I mean, this is the fucking front page of the Post. I mean, this is the biggest city in the U.S. and just fucking everywhere. And it just
That's
says
hilarious.
that. But so the story behind it was after arguing with Herbie's bar owner, Herbert Cummings, one of the patrons, Charles Dingle, he shot him. He then took several women hostage, raped one, a topless dancer, and forced another, who was a mortician, to decapitate Cummings. He was
my
apprehended.
God.
He was apprehended the following day and sentenced to 25 years to life.
Jesus.
I mean, it's just so fucked up that was the fucking headline
Yeah,
that they
topless
used.
or
Headless headless body and topless bar. I wish I had that.
That would be.
Dude,
Yeah,
I have a
newspaper.
copy
that's
of
pretty
that.
awesome.
But yeah, so that was the page a day for this week. But
Nice. That's fucking great. Yeah, Page a Day has been just a plethora of great fucking ideas for
yeah,
podcast stories. That's for sure. So, all right, guys, we got a lot on our plate here tonight. We're going to be taking a little trip east to the state of Ohio to track down this crazy ass cult killer before he kills another fucking family, Chris.
Yeah, so for the second coming, we must get our murder on.
Hell yeah, man. Some Corzus, a band I had no idea existed.
Right?
Since 1983, I stumbled on them online. The title of the story said the best thrash metal band you never heard of before.
Check that out. See what it's
I
about.
was like, "Where? Who is that?" And I saw the band name Corzus. I think that's how you say it. And yeah, from 1983, from fucking Brazil, amazing. The song "Truth." Those guys are really great, and I've got some information I'll pass on in the metal segment about those guys. So very, very cool. But tonight, guys, we got a good one, a really good one. We've been doing the cult leader thing. Went on a tear like we did back in the day, Chris, with the cannibals.
Yep.
Yeah, we did a few. We did Matheny. We did fucking Alfred Packer. We did, I don't remember the third. There was like 3 or 4 we did in pretty close proximity. But anyway, tonight we're doing Jeffrey Lundgren, as we said earlier, the self-proclaimed prophet and mass murderer who convinced his followers.
More than a prophet.
That's right. His followers to join him in killing a family of 5 in April of 1989 in Kirtland, Ohio, which they all believed doomsday was coming, like we've seen before with these fucking crazy-ass cults. He had the gift of convincing others to believe in his ideas, and like most cult leaders, took full advantage of it.
Dude, all the advantage.
And totally imploded as it got to his head and he started to actually believe this shit. I watched a couple different documentaries and I heard that more than once of when he really slipped, it was when he really started to believe his own bullshit.
Lies, yeah.
He just got like so like caught up in it.
that's what Pete Early was saying.
Yeah, the author of that book. Yeah, Pete Early. So he took full advantage of these people, and it's a fucked up story. But I also think Lundgren is the only crazy cult leader with a fucking righteous ass mullet.
Well, it's tight.
I mean, especially in the trial, Chris, he
Dude,
had
yeah,
that
it's
shit all
all laid
slicked
back,
back, and yeah, he looked like a fucking stud, man. So he's definitely the only cult leader I am aware of that sported the mullet through the whole reign of fucking bullshit and
I will
trial
say,
and everything.
Koresh had some pretty tight hair too. Though.
Yeah,
He did.
He was a rocker, though.
That's true. He didn't. I don't think he had the mullet, but he definitely had longer hair.
Yeah.
So I'm anxious to do this one tonight. We always, add our own twist to this. And Joey, you've been talking about Lundgren since I think you started coming out here to hang out with us. And you always said, this would be a good one. And you have some personal tie to this story, which I think is interesting.
Yeah.
So.
Kind of, sort of, like not exactly to the case that we're talking about, but
Yeah.
the sect that he came out of and what he grew up believing and created his rhetoric is called the Reorganized Church of Latter-day Saints,
Right.
which is the exact church I was brought up in. So, I mean, from the time I was born, until I basically stopped going to church or whatever, that was weekly, a regular thing for me.
Wow. Now, where were you though when you were doing that?
I was in Connecticut.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And I would go in Maine. When I'd go to my grandparents, I would go to their church, of course, too.
Okay.
And it's kind of wild for me because it's like I'm pretty much anti-organized religion myself, and I got strong beliefs that way. So it's hard to, in one way, I just want to talk about this story and just fucking rip it and talk about how ridiculous it is, him and the church that he came out of that created him, which is what I feel. But on the other hand, it's also tough for me because my grandfather and a lot of my relatives are still very much involved with that church.
Oh, wow.
To the point where my grandfather built the church in Connecticut that my mom grew up going to.
Oh, wow.
They're all elders in Maine, including my grandma.
Wow.
One of the Mormon fucking meccas is Nauvoo over in western Illinois on the border, and that's where one of the biggest Mormon temples is here. And I was jokingly out there smoking weed one day with a couple of my friends, and they were like, "Oh, you can't just go in there." You know what I'm saying? And I was like, "Oh, I could probably go in there." Come to find out, I definitely could go in there because I was baptized into the church and everything. But not only that, my mom's like, "Oh, your cousin basically runs everything over there."
Wow.
So I was like, dang. So that's what I'm saying. I've got family that is very deeply rooted in this, and their belief system's very much about what they're talking about. Me, I don't fall in line with that. So whenever all of a sudden I'm in this church and then I find out about this cult leader that came out of my church. My church is, when I was growing up, I didn't know anybody else that went to it. It was tiny.
Right.
When we moved here to Illinois, we went to one here, and it was in Pana, actually, which is classic, where Phil lives.
Yeah, where Phil lives, yeah.
But, it was always just very, very small. Huh. So I would know everybody, involved in it, and I don't know. And then you see it like that, and then it's just like, okay, this cult leader came out of this shit.
Right.
And, the timeline's just so fucked up because right after it all, they became the Church of Christ, which is what they are now.
Right.
And it was like, did he have anything to do with that? Because you
wondered
didn't hear
that.
about this. It wasn't a big thing. It's more known in true crime.
Right.
And it's like, no, that was a fucking pretty fucked up thing that came out of your church.
Right.
That y'all never addressed. You just excommunicated him.
Right.
So anyway, So I did come up in this that we're going to talk about. So that's my tie to it.
Awesome. Well, I did want to bring it up right out of the box. So.
And like you said, basically since the beginning, I've been like, oh, I want to do this one. If there was one that I want to do the most, it was this one.
Right.
Just because of my closer ties to it.
And we tend to stick to the more obscure, Chris. This is one. Did you even know about this before?
Joey talking about. I
never even heard of this dude before you brought it up, Joey. So I'm sure a lot of our listeners are probably in the same boat, not familiar with it.
I'm about to be learned.
So Jeffrey Lundgren was born May 3rd, so coming up on his birthday here, 1950. Funny that his birthday's so close to when this episode will come out. But born in Independence, Missouri, into, as you pointed out, Joey, the RLDS, the Reorganized Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That's quite the mouthful.
I knew as a kid, whenever I would what church do you go to? The Reorganized Church of Jesus Christ. That sounds like a cult shit.
It does.
No, it's straight
up. You're saying a fucking phrase instead of just the church.
People were like, because everybody knew the commercials, the Church of Latter-day Saints, the Mormons.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody knew those commercials and all that shit.
Right.
And they're like, oh, you're one. And I'm like, no, I'm a sect off of that.
Right.
Right there just sounds fucked up.
It does.
Wait,
it
what?
does. Now, this isn't a theology class, but of course, just so people understand, the Latter-day Saints, as Joey just said, are part of the Mormons. They're like a fracture of that, like happens in all religions, Christianity a lot. They were founded in 1830 by Joseph Smith, who wrote the Book of Mormon. And like with Christianity, they fractured into these smaller denominations. So the RLDS is one of those. It's the second largest one with about 250,000 members worldwide. But if you look at that worldwide, that's still relatively small.
Yeah.
Not like millions in the other religions. But in 2001, as you said, Joey, it was renamed the Community of Christ. Probably, I'm assuming to distance itself from that kind of crap.
Like I said, I never saw anything that went one way or the other with that, but it's pretty ironic that it happened not very long after that.
It is. And like we've said many times, Joey, you were just getting into this. I wanted to bring it up as well as, I'm not into organized religion, Chris. I know you're not, but hey, if that's what makes you happy and you're into it, we're not here to sit here and rip on anybody. You believe what you want to believe. Yeah, exactly. We're just saying, we don't necessarily, none of us, it sounds like, have anything to do with any sort of organized religion, but your beliefs are your beliefs, and we're just talking about this crazy motherfucker. Could have come out of the Christian faith, like Jones. You have them from all walks of life.
Definitely.
So that's just the way we do it. We're going to do it Murder Metal Mayhem style, but cults are normally, when they're fronted by somebody like this, is never going to end well. It's always a bad fucking ending.
They take religion to an extreme.
Right. Now, Joey, Independence, that was the home of the RLDS movement, right?
Yeah, basically. I mean, that's...
Because that's where he comes from, but that's where I thought that...
Which, I mean, it's ironic. I mean, I guess it's not real ironic, but yeah, he came right from Independence. That's where he was born and raised.
Right.
And that is like home turf to RLDS. Their world temples there and everything else, very close to Nauvoo, relatively.
Right.
So the Kirtland, Ohio thing, which is where the original temple was, that doesn't come till a little bit later. But yes, he was fucking born in Independence, Missouri.
So he's right in the heart of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Now, from what I read, he had a pretty shitty childhood. I read that he was abused by his father, but I didn't know in what way. If it was sexual or just slapped him around or verbally or all of the above, I don't know. But I do know that the family was very strictly religious. Of course, born in Independence. He's in the home of this shit, brought up in it. And obviously they're very, very, devout people. And again, that was their thing. But I didn't see any more detail than that. I don't know if you guys knew much more about his upbringing other than that. I think one of the documentaries I watched said he was an amazingly average, mediocre person. I can't remember the phrase they used.
Like unremarkable.
Yeah, unremarkable or something like that. I'm like, wow, that's kind of cold. That's like a kid's class picture. It's about how unremarkable he was.
I think that was on that.
I think so.
Probably, yeah.
I couldn't remember which one it was, but I did hear that, and I laughed when I heard it. So he grew up, in a tough situation. He grows up a loner, which we've heard that one before. He gets really into guns and hunting, which is where he finally would find some commonality with his dad. And it was weird as he went into his adult life, he kept up with the whole gun thing to kind of rival his dad. His dad had all these guns and
always building his gun collection up because of his, you said, because of his dad's gun collection.
Motherfucker didn't have money to eat, but he's buying fucking guns and ammunition.
He's got, let me go get this AR. No, son, you can't have that sandwich.
Right, exactly. Put that peanut butter back, motherfucker. One scoop. He also delivered. I babysat totally throwing this thing in the weeds, but that whole idea of the scoop. I babysat when I was a teenager for these kids, and I was making a peanut butter jelly sandwich, and she's like, "Mother only lets us put one something on the bread," and I'm like, "Well, Mom's not here right now," and I just fucking loaded this shit up. Fuck you! I'm not just putting
just one.
Fuck you. So but I never babysat for him again. So apparently that's a bad thing, to put more peanut butter on the bread than you're supposed to. But anyway, he's constantly fucking building his gun collection up. But he does have a gift, and that gift was memorization. And so he finds that learning these Bible verses, especially Joey being in that whole environment, that's pretty impressive when you can just recite these Bible passages off your, top of your head.
Somebody says something, you say Matthew 17.
Right,
it's shit, that really relates.
Damn,
what the fuck?
That's pretty cool. And I did read or watched one of those interviews with that author, Pete Early, that he said, the church is the easiest place to take over. All you need is to know a few scriptures, and that impresses people. You can slowly take over. So pretty ironic. Now, of course, he told Pete Early that after he was arrested.
Right, yeah.
But I thought it was appropriate there because he was putting that shit together. But Chris, it sounds a little Koresh Branch Davidian like here with the arsenal.
I mean,
seems a little obsessed,
from
man.
the photos in the documentary, it seemed like they were getting ready to lock down. Like they had like a 50 caliber gun and shit, like ready to shoot.
And they were doing like
yeah.
training
Military
exercises
training and
out in the
shit, yeah.
fucking outside.
Yeah.
People saw them like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? You know, people are freaking out a little bit. 1969, Lundgren goes to Central Missouri State University, spends a lot of time at a house there that was actually built for the children of the RLDS there at the campus. And that's where he meets the love of his life, Chris, Alice Keeler. She would be, you know, abused by her father. And so they had that commonality. Again, I don't know what abuse that was, but I did just read that multiple times about her and he having that common bond of they were both in the RLDS church and they both had issues with their dads and it came from a rough upbringing. But she was told by a church elder that she was destined to marry someone who would be a great church leader. How crazy is that?
She meets this guy.
Yeah, right? How lucky does she won life's lottery, Chris?
Fucking right, dude.
And she's fucking wearing stripes for a fucking long ass time. They
It's
get
a
married
green
in
shirt.
1970, right before Jeffrey joins the U.S. Navy.
Dude, they were only like they only dated like for like a week before he asked her to marry him.
Yeah, that's right.
Like,
I forgot about that.
Not long at all.
No. So kind of fucked up. But he's in the Navy. It's 1970, so, you know, that's Vietnam. They had a son that December, and then by 74, she gets pregnant again, and he discharges out. So he did his 4 years, and he did his tour in Vietnam. I'm not sure what his job was in the Navy, but I know it said that he didn't see any action. So if he was on a ship, I mean, the North Vietnamese didn't have fucking Navy. So, you know, not that that discredits, you know, people obviously from the Navy. It's just that in that particular war, they probably weren't used, you know, in combat situations, I would think regularly.
Story too, though, they got under attack supposedly like 3 times and no bullets hit the ship. So he's like, that made him like the prophet, or like
he was like, "Oh, I'm obviously meant to be here."
Yeah, he protected because they got attacked 3 times and like not one bullet hit the water or hit the ship or whatever.
Oh wow!
So he's just like,
that's fucked up. See,
I am God.
Yeah, he's really fucking cocky, man. So he gets an honorable discharge. They had a second son. He's just abusive to Alice through the whole thing, smacking her around and more. For a while, the Lundgren stayed in San Diego, but were not able to make it financially, so they had to move back to Independence. And he just can't seem to hold a fucking job down. I mean, he's getting fired and he's tried all sorts of things.
He's about writing bad checks and fucking borrowing money from the in-laws.
Yeah, the in-laws on that one documentary were like, yeah, he was, you know, taking money from us and the sob story. They had nowhere to live. And it was her mom. And she was saying,
he wrote a check to buy a gun. It bounced and he sold the gun already.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and he had also stole from other employers too, so he had kind of a track record of this shit. Alice gives birth to a third child, a daughter, and, you know, obviously the money problems don't get any easier when you start adding kids to the mix. And Jeffrey, just like his own father, is being abusive to the family, and he's getting sick and tired of his wife. She ends up in the fucking hospital with a ruptured spleen from him slamming her into a fucking doorknob. And then, like, they needed one more fucking child.
Probably slipped on the shit. That's how she fell. Fuck.
Yeah. So she gives birth to another boy. So they got 4 fucking kids. And Joey, there is a lot of stuff going on at that house, and I know you guys have alluded to it a couple of times. I don't know when you wanted to bring that whole thing up there.
I mean, it's just basically the abuse, like you're talking about. It's just an extension of it. And he now Jeffrey got brought up. His family was very RLDS, and then he was, you know, brought up the same way in the old style. because there was a movement that we'll talk about too within the church that causes a rift. But anyway, he was brought up in the old style, and basically what that means is that women were
made to please men, basically.
Right.
They were there for their husbands, and
Right.
you know, they were submissive to them and everything else. So the man takes, you know, full control over the situation, whatever. So Jeffrey has this attitude now. What he got into, because he was really into Pete Early's book goes a lot more into it, but he had other affairs with women and stuff like that.
Right.
And he was pretty much, you know, a very adulterous person, but he was into all kinds of like kinky shit. And
Yeah, like-
when I say shit now, I literally mean
Literally
feces.
mean-
Right.
And he started getting into that, and he was like, he would get Alec, like he would ass fuck her, his wife. Like
Right.
he loved to do that to her. Like violently, and then he would go into the bathtub and he'd fucking make her sit in there, and then he would fucking shit on her, and he was all about the feces. And there was
like
other
music and masturbate and shit.
yeah,
like,
and there was
that's
other
fucked
times
up.
where he would like spread it all over himself and like put it on him on his dick and make her suck it all, like super fucked up
Oh
shit.
my God.
And then one of the most fucked up things that, you know, is in Early's book was one of the landlords from one of the
Yeah,
homes
dude,
after
Jesus
he moved,
Christ.
they fucking go in and they clean this place up, and it's a fucking shithole.
It stunk. There was
Every
shit
place they
everywhere.
left, they fucking
Yeah,
it was trash.
It was garbage.
Wow.
But anyway, so they go down to the basement, and fucking the sewer line had been like busted,
And
there was a huge pile of shit on the ground. So I don't.
Said it was like fucking 6 feet.
Yeah,
or
they were like, you
like
know, it's all
deep.
speculation, but was he down there like bathing in it? And
Oh my God.
super fucked up
Yeah,
stuff. so.
anybody who shit or pissed in
Yeah.
the toilet just went right down to the basement.
So
like,
anyway, along
oh
with the
my
abuse
God.
the abuse that he's given Alice, because I mean, from all her accounts, I don't think he ever said anything, and who knows, because she's pretty much a liar in my opinion too. But
Right.
you know, I'm sure he was pretty much fucking abusive in that way. But definitely, like, I don't think she was ever like fully into being shit on.
no,
No.
She was doing it
and-
to be submissive because she was
Right.
showing.
She didn't like it, but she did it because she thought she
Right,
had
and
to.
then
yeah.
he's telling her that through scriptures, this is a punishment that you have to endure to prove your you know what I'm saying, your fucking dedication to me or whatever.
Right.
It's so fucked up.
It is fucked up. So, Chris, I mean, you got all this going on. 1984, he gets dismissed at what the RLDS would call a lay minister, and that definitely pisses him off and prompts him to fucking make a move, man. They're fucking get ready to fucking leave independence.
Yeah, he was talking some crazy shit that the other ministers and shit didn't want to hear, and also he didn't like the fact that they were pushing to have let females become ministers
Right,
as well.
right.
That's like Joey said, the old way, and like the
Yeah, they
after
they had
shit
an uprising of
Right.
members that were pushing for that.
females, and he was
And the
not
old
about
school
that
people
shit at
were like,
all.
no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it definitely pissed him off, and he wanted to take over that church, and he was about to fucking put out a plan to do it too.
Right.
So
So yeah, it's pretty crazy. So he convinces Alice and a few friends who believed in him that God had came and shown him that he was supposed to start his own church in Kirtland, Ohio. So they up and fucking move out there. I'm sure her family was fucking glad that they fucking left.
Oh yeah.
dude,
Kirtland is a
now you
small
guys took
town
money from me.
about 23 miles east of Cleveland. I checked. So it's
I think there was only like fucking at the time maybe like 300 something people.
in that town.
Yeah, it was
yeah.
tiny.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This is where he claimed and would go on to claim where Jesus' second coming was going to happen,
Right.
right here in Kirtland.
Kirtland, Ohio.
Kirtland, Ohio. He's considered, or it's considered, the original headquarters for the Latter-day Saints and the home of the very first Mormon church, the Kirtland Temple, is what it was called. And apparently in 1937, Joseph Smith was driven out of Kirtland, and he cursed the town as he left.
Curse you, town!
And that does not bode well for our fucking
No.
story here tonight.
No.
Jeffrey manages to live, though, in a church-owned home there in Kirtland in exchange for how nice of him to volunteer to run
Yeah.
the register at the gift shop. What the fuck with this guy's track record?
Yeah,
of course,
we all
they
know
didn't
he
know.
likes to steal.
That's right. So it's, you know, in his capacity, he's fucking stealing money because he's the fucking treasurer of the fucking place. And he's also teaching Bible classes He's claiming he was at the crucifixion.
Yeah.
All sorts of crazy stuff. His wife said that he had the gift of drawing in vulnerable people. This is the classic cult leader mantra, drawing in vulnerable people. And she was his biggest cheerleader, man.
Yeah.
She was all about it.
So he's going through the Book of Mormon and everything there, and he's also going through the temple itself and its design, and he's finding things that he is saying is giving him clues as to the coming of God.
Oh, wow.
And, so whenever all these people are coming to Kirtland to see the temple, they're coming to see him, and he's telling them, yeah, come look at this pulpit. Yeah, look at these doors. These right here, these symbols, this means this and this means that. And I mean, these people are fully believing it because to them and what they've been brought up to believe, why would you not? And you're here in the Mecca, the original spot of your church. So they're believing this shit. And they were talking like, I mean, he was ripping the fucking place off, as we're going to talk about. But also, a lot of these people, I don't think he was supposed to take tips and things like that. But these people, they said these people were just slipping him like hundreds and like, for doing the Torah so fucking well and giving them all this knowledge.
Wow.
And, he pretty much kept all his bullshit about him being a prophet off the table. He didn't really bring that up to those type of people.
Right.
But he definitely tried to exude all of his intelligence on the subject impress them.
Yeah.
And
he's all about
worked.
that. And he's good at it. He's very jealous, though, of Dale Luffman, who was the man who was the minister of the Kirtland Temple and was known to tell others that they shouldn't believe in him, in what he was telling them. So obviously he's pissed off. The church is pissed off.
Yeah.
Lundgren's claiming that he's a special prophet, the one who founded the chiastic interpretation of the Bible. It's a little confusing, but what he would say is that, and this was a thing, so he didn't invent this, but apparently this is a way that some have interpreted the Bible, is when you have two phrases that mirror each other.
And the verse or whatever.
Whatever's in between that is the word of God,
Because they said God spoke in two voices, so everything came out as parallels.
Right. Yeah, and a way I did hear one podcaster explain it is kind of like the John Kennedy phrase of ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
Yeah.
Right.
That would be an example of what we're saying. So if there were more words between those, that's where he's saying is the word of God. So it's a little confusing, but this is the thing that these cult leaders like to do. They find little morsels of something they can hang on to and twist and show it as, see here, it's right in the Bible. It says that. And they're good at it, and they're just very, very good, basically salesmen.
Especially when you study it as much as he did just to find those.
Yeah, and the memorization thing.
Yeah.
So he's teaching fucking Sunday school classes, and fucking Dale Luffman walks down, and he hears him in the classroom being like, don't listen to what that dude's telling you because it's all bullshit.
Right.
And then he starts fucking talking about what he's talking about, which at that time was almost fully on Revelation and the darker, more violent shit. And that's whenever Luffman decides to confront him about it.
Yeah, they have a meeting, and
that,
he's like,
man.
that's the end of that.
Yeah.
So pretty fucked up. The minister tells him not to go against him in the church ever again after that meeting. Now, Joey, the church realizes that Lundgren's stealing some money.
Yeah.
I saw the estimate between $25,000 and $40,000 from the gift shop. For God's sakes, that's a lot of snow globes. I mean, for fuck's sake,
That's a shit ton.
koozies,
Shit from
Kirtland
the gift
Temple
shop. That is a
koozie.
lot of money, dude.
They fucking. I can't believe they missed that much money in less than a year. It wasn't that long that he was
At
there.
a gift shop.
I know.
Like, you don't realize
Imagine how many
that-
people
Yeah.
they must be fucking selling shit to not miss up to 40 grand out of a gift shop for a church.
It's insane.
That's
dude.
fucking nuts. They excommunicated him in 87, though, Joey, and he resigns.
That's whenever he was the most pissed off because he had basically already not been attending services with Luffman.
Right.
So he's doing them at his house, and he's having people that
His-
are believing
his
what he's
followers,
saying.
yeah.
Right.
They're coming down and talking to him, but he's still part of the RLDS technically.
Right.
And he's preaching as one of the old school RLDS teachers. But then that's whenever Luffman goes to higher ups and they talk about what this guy's doing. They're like, nope, you're excommunicated. You're no longer part of our organization.
Right.
Yeah, and he is fucking hot.
He's fucking hot because they evict him from the house, Chris,
Yeah.
that he was in. So he's out of that house. So now he's got to rent this farmhouse out in the country. Used to be an apple orchard. He's out there. And like you said, Joey, he's mad at Lufkin for doing what he did and
did
the
me
church
dirty,
for throwing
dog.
him out. So he's fucking fired up. And he's only a few miles out of town, so he's not too far away. And some of the people, they go with them.
Yeah.
Him and Alice, they rent, this farmhouse, and he convinces them to call him Dad. So like these adult men are calling him Dad.
Jim
like
Jones, dude, they called him Dad.
That's true. I forgot about that. And they called Alice, of course, Mom. And so they, act like a family with kids. And, of course, just like Jones, everybody works, but then all the money goes to him, so
They were giving them all his,
everything.
The one guy gave him like $10,000 cash from selling his house and moving
Yeah.
in with
That was
them.
the Averys.
Yeah.
And that was the Averys.
And
Yeah,
he
that
kept
was
just
the
a little
Averys.
bit of it, and that was like fucking hardcore fucking no there. So very fucked up. And the other family that followed him were the Averys, as you said, Chris, but they lived on their own, which I'm sure pissed him off. But he also talked so shitty about him, and he was always fucking ripping on him.
I saw two. It was hard to tell which account was true, but I saw one where it was like the angle that they wanted to keep at least some of their shit to themselves, so they lived on their own and everything else. But I also saw other accounts where Lundgren wouldn't let them live with them at the farmhouse. He was like, no, you guys can't be here with us. And that's why they were only allowed to come to one Bible study
A week. Yeah, I saw
where
that.
everybody else was basically
Every
getting a
day.
Bible study all goddamn day.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. So
And they said that Cheryl Avery was Lundgren's biggest supporter. Like, she believed in him more than anyone.
Yeah,
wow.
like more than Alice, I think. Like, totally believed everything.
But his issue with her was she was wore the
The
pants in the
dominant,
family,
yeah.
and
Right,
Dennis
she-
was kind of chill and
Right.
not
She
his
made-
type of guy. He was not into guns and hunting.
the
He was a
the woman's
bookworm.
supposed to serve you and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so they had 3 daughters, 2 teenagers and a 6-year-old. Just fucking terrible situation, which we're going to talk about. He's getting into mind control methods similar to L. Ron Hubbard and Jim Jones, which are 2 cult leaders we recently covered. But he constantly preaches to these people, and Chris, he's shutting them off from the outside.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to even talk to each other. He calls it a sin that he calls murmuring, which is fucked up. And then he was eavesdropping on their conversations and convincing them that he was able to read their minds, like 2 people talking about
he'd
something. And then he's like, oh, had this vision that you were talking to
Yeah.
Sarah about,
And then he'd also
how the spam was last night.
He'd also talk shit about other people while he was with certain people, and then when he was with the other people, talk shit to them about them like behind their back, like constantly.
Yeah.
He did that shit too, and it's like, what the fuck, dude?
Unfortunately, a lot of people
That's how
are
he's
like
controlling
that, though,
them. Yeah,
which
I
is
mean
fucked
that's
up.
real life though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Now, on the documentary that I watched a couple of them. One of the followers, Kevin Curry, speaks candidly about his experience living in the house and what it was like to, be a child in a house when you're an adult.
Yeah.
But it's fucked up, and you can hear he doesn't sound crazy. I mean, like Joey said, there's people that legitimately believe in the what some might consider the more extreme religions, but this is taking it to a whole different level and perversing it to where it's obviously very unhealthy to fucking be around this shit. And Chris, even, with them all living in the same house, they're still not, rolling in the money. But what little money is coming in, he's buying fucking guns
and
yeah.
ammo and teaching motherfuckers how to fight and shit, I guess.
Yeah. Just had a fucked up sense of fucking responsibility,
Yeah,
I
it's like
guess.
we need guns, and the fucked up thing is they never actually used them for anything. Like,
Right.
Which I guess the
I
Branch
guess that's
Davidian
good.
didn't either. But
Right,
it's just like it is all because of a battle against his dad,
right.
like we said earlier.
Yeah,
Like, it was
trying to outdo his
Yeah.
dad, yeah. Now, April of 1988, one of his neighbors complains to the cops about him, and his followers told him they're doing military exercises. That would be a little strange. Your neighbors out there shooting guns and doing military training.
Like I said, teaching them how to fight, I guess. Fuck.
Yeah. He had the men doing that shit in preparation for this temple takeover. The police talked to Jeffrey, but he dismisses it. You know, he's good at shit talking. They believe him. One of his sons told a neighbor kid that the earth was going to open up and demons were going to come out on May 15th. Yeah. So imagine that at the dinner table. Hey, like Scotty, how was...
Wasn't that kid like only 6 or some shit
that
too? Like younger than fuck.
Yeah, I mean, like you're sitting at the dinner table. Hey, Scotty, how was school today? Oh, it's kind of weird.
Check it out, dude.
I was talking to so-and-so that hey, May 15th, the earth is going to open up and demons are going to come flying out. Wow, it sounds like one of my stories.
You have a very vivid imagination, young man.
Yes. So around the same time, though, a former member of his cult went to the cops and told them about Jeffrey's plan to take over the Kirtland Temple very violently, like going in with the guns and shooting everybody. And yeah, it would have been fucking crazy. I mean, it's good that didn't happen because that would have been awful. They thought he was nuts and not credible. And then Lundgren starts to really lose it at this time. He's beginning to believe his own fucking crazy shit. Now, Joey, another former cult member, goes to the cops about the takeover, and he actually goes to the FBI, I think in Buffalo, to start, they really start investigating this. They're taking it a little more seriously with this guy.
Yeah. Well, and... So this is Kevin Curry, who we were talking about before. There were two people that basically defected from the cult. One was this girl, Char Olson, and then so Kevin Curry. Kevin Curry, he was with them through all of it whenever it was all about religion.
Right.
When shit started getting a little too wacky and they started talking about fucking...
He was smart.
Murder, he was like, oh, hell no. Not to mention, he was a homosexual who was struggling with that.
Oh, wow.
So when he was in this, in the household with them, they kept trying to fix him up with a woman, and denounce like the homosexuality. And so that was like a big thing with him, but Jeffrey would still like come down on him about it. You know what I'm saying? Wow. So anyway, so he ended up taking off and he was like, fuck that. But he had to go as far as like, he couldn't leave his forwarding address or nothing like that.
He
left all his shit.
Like some Scientology.
Yeah, he didn't even
there.
bring his shit. He left it all that he had with them and just fucking took off because he was so afraid. But anyway, so he goes to the FBI and he tells them, like you said, I believe it was Buffalo.
Yeah. And
he tells them, that this is going on down here. And they call and they talk to Ron Andelsack, who's the sheriff at the time there in Kirtland. And there's just nothing they can do.
Right. They've got
this guy's story. And that's what's fucked up. At this time, there's 3 states that know about what's going on.
Right.
That know this plan. And this plan, just to clarify too, is... So his enemy, Dale Luffman, he's going to go to his house and he's going to fucking kill him. He's going to kill his wife and his children, and he's going to make sure he kills them so he sees them die.
And originally, wasn't the plan supposed to be 10 people? But then he found another passage.
Well, no.
Right.
No, the 10 people is later on whenever it's within his family.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Right now, he was going to kill Dale Luffman because he was what was stopping them from getting the temple, which was going to allow them to see God on the second coming. This is his thought process, what he's telling them. And they had it all set up, like they had it planned out who was going to go in and take care of who and all that shit. So you got to think about this now. They don't got nothing to hold them on, but at the same time, they let Dale Luffman know, hey, we heard this from this guy, and this is supposedly what they were going to do.
So then they can't.
And you're just like, holy fuck, this dude's going to fucking murder me and my family. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's right over here and not in jail or anything
with
like
a bunch
that.
of guns.
Yeah.
Training in the front yard.
And they kept, and so Jeffrey, like you said, he had a certain date that he kept saying, and it was May
birthday.
Something.
Yeah.
It was May 3rd.
It was his birthday.
And so they kept being like Temple Takeover, May 3rd. And for a couple years until everything resolved itself, they were fucking watching each time around that date to see if anything was going to happen.
Oh, wow.
But at this time, like we said,
there's nothing they could do.
There's nothing they could do, but 3 states know about this.
Yeah. So very crazy, but October of 1988, there's a thunderstorm in Kirtland, and once the sun came out, a rainbow formed. That happens all the time.
Yep.
So Jeffrey tells his followers that it was because he opened the 7 seals. How convenient. Now that was a big thing with Koresh. Remember this whole 7 seals thing.
Yeah.
Koresh had his followers convinced that he was the only person who could interpret the 7 seals from the Bible. So Lundgren's pulling the same bullshit in 88, which would have been around the time Koresh was doing that in Texas. So you almost wonder if one knew of the other or how that works. If there's that was before like the internet really, but that would have been a cool chat room, Koresh and Lundgren hanging out.
Hey guy, how you doing? This right here,
I really like that mullet, man. I don't know though. I'm kind of the rocker, So prior to, an interesting coincidence that they were about the same time. There was about 20 followers of Lundgren in this splinter group that, like we said, really had no name. Because he's now excommunicated from the RLDS church. And these people are extremely devout, and they say that, there's revelations and that they saw God when, of course they have not. But this isn't much different than other religions who have had people claim that, they were prophets and they spoke to God. So as we said, this has happened in probably every religion. We just don't know about some of them. In the doc that I watched, Alice is on there, and she speaks about her experiences being married to Jeffrey and how she was taught, as we said, to be obedient. But, again, not much different than, the Muslims are that way and other religions as well, that the woman is supposed to be subservient.
Right.
And Jeffrey's also telling them who they should be in relationships with, like you said, that he did with Curry, trying to, play matchmaker here, but in a little creepy fucking way.
Like have the ladies all fucking dance around naked and shit.
That's later too. That's when they go to the wilderness.
Oh yeah, that is.
There's still some story on this.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's pretty fucking crazy. But Chris, during this time, the 20 that were giving Jeffrey everything they had, but similar to kind of Jim Jones, David Koresh, and even in a way L. Ron Hubbard, but in different ways. But they all kind of are good at separating people from their money and kind of rallying around a common cause,
I mean, they believe in him enough. Like, his word is the word. He ciphers the Bible better than anyone else. So, and they believe him, which is another one of those, like, how do you believe this guy? But when you're religious and that's all you know is religion, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine it, but it happens. I mean, there's people in Waco and Koresh, doctors, lawyers. I mean, these are not like people plucked out off the streets. These are like professionals, teachers, nurses. I mean, of all walks of life. I mean, it's hard to put ourselves, I think, in that situation, but obviously it happens, and it's crazy. It's just amazing that they're able to do this, and Lundgren convinces his followers that they're going to witness the second coming of God, as you said, Chris, on his birthday, May 3rd. And he told them it was going to happen at the Kirtland Temple, and that's why they had to take it over, as you guys said. But he did say that blood would need to be spilled and that the houses around the church, which he called the vineyard, had to be cleansed, which is fucked up. So pretty crazy shit. Now, Joey, he is getting his followers whipped up into believing they need to kill in order to have the second coming, as he's telling them, which is pretty fucking scary shit.
Yeah, and another thing you got to think about, this is 1989, or 88 or whatever it was at this point, but that's not far from the year 2000. There's a lot more speculation among the religious people of Christ was going to show himself. So the possibility that was all coming to a head and happening, it was very realistic for these people.
That's true.
He's cutting them off from, all their other family and all that, which is, proper cult fucking etiquette. But, and especially back then without like cell phones or internet or nothing like that. I mean, these people are just full on believing what he's feeding them.
Right.
And with everything that you've been taught growing up, the possibility that this is a real thing that's happening.
Right.
And you better do what you need to do to be on the right side of it when it comes out.
Right.
And if that's taking care of the sinners and getting rid of them,
right,
then that's what you're going to think you need
yeah,
to do.
I mean, he just was able to justify it.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. Now, the Avery family would become the focus of Jeffrey's craziness. They sold their house, like you said, Chris, gave him like 10 grand. They kept only a little bit in their own bank account. And he's saying that's a sin because, he wasn't about anybody keeping anything.
That's my money.
He wanted all that money.
My $200.
I need to buy another case of fucking ammo clips, so fuck you. He also didn't like, as we said, Cheryl being dominant in that relationship with Dennis. And, he's got his followers believing it. I mean, some of those interviews with them, when they're in prison, they're talking about how they just thought the Averys were awful because that's what he told them, they believed it.
Yep.
He was really good at it. He just constantly brought it up, and he thought they were weak and that they needed to die. And he referred to killing them as pruning the vineyard. So really fucked up imagery with this fucking dude. April of 89, Jeffrey convinces his followers to dig a pit in the barn to bury the Averys after he kills them. His son is involved in this, which is fucked up. He's like 19. He convinces the followers to, including the Averys, they're going to go on a little camping trip. And he rents some hotel rooms. They have dinner. It's like this
alibi. They got an alibi there. People seen him. They got the room.
He also had them write their family a letter, the Averys, telling them that they were going to be in Wyoming for a while.
Oh, yeah.
To buy them some time or whatever. That's fucked up. Like, he just tricked them into writing their own fucking alibi, basically, for their murder.
Yeah, that's fucked up. I forgot about that part. So he's able to break bread with these people knowing he's going to fucking kill them.
Right.
know?
Like, that's like Jim Jones having people write the confessions for shit.
Yeah, true. True.
That made him believe it.
Yeah. He invites all the men to his little private meeting, though, except Dennis Avery, to make sure everybody's on board for what they're going to do in this killing. And they all agree. And like I said, his son Damon was part of it at age 19, which is fucked up. And Chris, this is some cold, methodical shit on behalf of Lundgren. I mean, this is very calculated
like
here.
Like I said, going through to fucking get the hotel room and make sure the Averys are seen in it and everything.
Right.
Writing the letter to the family.
Yeah.
Like, plus he's got, and cold being like, everybody involved is just like knowing what's going to happen, just following them or just having a good time with them, laughing with them and everything.
Well, like Alice said, she said, you'd have to be an idiot to not know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's on video. That's how they got her. I mean, she couldn't say she didn't know because she said it herself.
Yeah.
We all knew, he didn't come out and say what he was going to do, but
everybody knew.
We all knew.
which he probably did come out and say what he was going to do.
Probably.
Like I said, I feel like she's definitely trying to play the victim.
I don't think she was totally forthcoming either, dude. Now, Joey, you want to explain how this actually went down with the Averys?
Yeah, so he, like he said, he invites the whole family. They're over there eating dinner with him, and Dennis is the only guy in the house at the time fucking just sitting there eating. And the other guys are out there fucking planning on what they're going to do. So they fucking come in, tell Dennis, that they need to talk to him.
Left, said she had to run.
Yeah, Alice left on the premise that she had to go buy 2 picnic tables.
Yeah, buy picnic tables. And it's like 8 or 9 o'clock at night.
And it was just like totally made zero sense, but that was just her not being there at the time, getting away from it. That's another thing. It's like it was too fucking set up that she'd have too many outs if shit went down. Anyway, so Alice isn't there during any of this though. So yeah, that is a good point. So they tell Dennis, come out to the barn. We got to talk about this camping trip they were going on. He's like, yeah, sure. He goes out there. As soon as he goes out there, like 2 of them grab him and fucking, they try to use a stun gun first.
Yeah, and it didn't work.
You're right. And it didn't fucking work. And he was like, ow. And he was like, you don't have to do that. That was like his words, was like, you don't need to do that. Right. Or some shit, And so they fucking tape them up. They got duct tape, which they use basically on everybody.
Right.
Tape legs, hands.
Yeah, and then they gag them and they take them into the other part of the barn, which is where Jeffrey's sitting over the
and he's
pit.
fighting the whole time.
Yeah, and now from all accounts, they fucking leave Dennis Avery with Lundgren, and they leave out of that part of the barn. Supposedly, they never saw any of the murder occur. Jeffrey's the only person who did, which is possible. Now, Jeffrey says that he shot him in the face because he wanted him to see him. But the fucking autopsy report shows that he was shot twice in the back.
Right, which is bullshit. So he couldn't even look him in the face.
Right,
He's got a 45.
Right,
so
but he wanted to tell them people.
Oh, yeah, that's a big gun.
And I mean, after he got caught, he was even really adamant. He was like, no, they got that fucking wrong. I shot him in his fucking face. Like,
yeah, I
but anyway,
think
so. So he kills Dennis Avery. He's down in the fucking pit. They go into the house and they go get Cheryl, and they're like, hey, Dennis is outside. He needs some help with something real fast. Can you come help us? Of course, you're going to go out there. Now, while this is going on, I can't remember the guy's name, which one it was, one of the cult members, but he was out with a chainsaw running it. And it could have been Damon. It could have been the son. It was one of them.
Okay.
But so every time like the gun would go off or something, he would rev the chainsaw.
Oh, wow.
Or if there was
So they
any
wouldn't hear
screaming.
it.
Right. So you couldn't hear nothing. The neighbors couldn't hear
Oh,
anything.
wow.
So they bring fucking Cheryl in. As soon as she's in there, they gag her, fucking put the duct tape over her eyes. They throw her in the fucking pit on top of her husband. He shoots her each breath. He shot her in both her tits, and then once in the stomach. Not that he was aiming, that's just where the shots ended up, I think. But yeah, both her breasts and then one in the stomach. So she's sitting there, both bodies dead, mother and fucking husband. So then they go get the 15-year-old daughter, the oldest one, and they did it all in fucking, age fucking.
Yeah. Right.
So they get the 15-year-old daughter, brought her in, and they fucking shoot her twice in the head.
Right.
13-year-old Becky was shot twice, left to die in the pit, and then the 6-year-old, she was brought in last. And
the one dude even gave her a piggyback.
No, that's what's fucked up.
What was the one that was it? The little one? I'm assuming. Then they told her there was a pony out there or something like that. That's fucked up.
Yeah,
man.
but homeboy straight gave her a piggyback ride. That fucking
Ron Luff, because he was like he was Jeffrey's right hand man. Ron Luff was, and he's the one that basically brought all of them into Jeffrey to the pit. But yeah, I think he brought her in, gave her a piggyback ride out to the barn.
Yeah.
And I can't remember which one they were talking to, but they're like, oh, we're going to play a game like monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
And fucking that's why they blindfolded her and she didn't freak out.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, they were like, it was really
like
fucking
monkeys, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. That's what it was.
So they fucking got all 5 bodies in this fucking pit, which they had fucking dug specifically to fucking fit a family of 5. Now, Chris had said it earlier.
Shit,
yeah,
man.
Chris said it earlier. Well, we'll talk about it in a minute. There does end up there was supposed to be 10.
Right.
Right now it's just the Avery family. But.
Right. And then they filled that hole up with stones and dirt, and they put some junk and
they covered
stuff.
It with garbage,
so you wouldn't think that there was anything.
Oh, straight
there.
trash.
Yeah, just
when they went in there and they found it eventually, it was a fucking pile of trash on top of where their family was.
Wow. Now, Chris, this is about as brutal as it gets, but Lundgren is the first, of these cult leader killers, whatever you want to call them, that actually does the killing himself. I mean,
Manson didn't do it. Jim Jones didn't do it.
Right.
I mean, Koresh didn't actually kill anybody, right?
No, I don't think so, no.
I mean, he's the only one that I can think of.
Yeah. I'm sure there have been others, but if the ones we've talked about, this is a first, so that's pretty harsh, man. I mean, you're taking this shit and you're the one fucking shooting these people in the head and kids and everything else.
Your followers believe you.
I think that's why he did it
into your own hands.
Well, they were saying that fucking he had been spitting all this fucking shit this whole time to these fucking people.
So he had to put up or shut up.
Yeah, they were like, if he didn't actually pull the trigger and fucking take someone's life, they were going to be fucking over it. He was going to lose everything.
That's a good point.
And if you're a fucking megalomaniac, like he was probably at that point, you are the thought of losing your fucking followers and the people who are looking at it, that's the fucking worst thing you could ever imagine.
Right. That's true. Yep. Now, the day after the murders, years later, that barn was eventually demolished, which is good. I don't know what took them that long, to be honest with you, but maybe there was some sort of land ownership issue.
I was curious because I was watching the documentary and they were showing the barn, and I was like, man, is that still up? Because I'm planning on going out there sometime, so I want to see it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, it's gone. The day after the murders, though, coincidentally, the cops go to talk to Lundgren, but not about the Averys. They didn't know about that yet, but they, even went out to the barn.
They went out there to talk to him about the temple takeover.
Yeah.
Which was fucking months old, but they finally had like something they could fucking bring up just to figure out what's going on.
Right. And he played it off, and, you know, they talked to the people there. Are you here against your will? They're like, no, everything's cool. So there's not anything they could do, but they definitely know he's up to no fucking good. Jeffrey starts getting very paranoid, of course, after this. Who wouldn't? He's worried he's going to get caught. He moves the cult to to West Virginia. So he gets up and he
in the woods now, too.
Yeah.
Right.
They ain't got a house or nothing. They just out in the woods now.
Right.
The wilderness.
Exactly.
Yeah, they called it the wilderness.
That's right. So, they believe that this is now where they're going to finally see Jesus. So months go by. Of course, Jesus doesn't show up. So, they're starting to doubt him. He's losing it even more, and he winds up moving his family to California.
But, so let me go back to what we've been talking about. Before that, so they go out to West Virginia, and they're in the wilderness, and like Chris said, they're living in fucking encampments and shit.
Right.
So Lundgren fucking, what he does is he fucking takes these women. So, okay, so he's telling these people, look, there's supposed to be 10 deaths.
Right.
I already committed 5. You know I can do that. And he even had 2 other people picked out, like, okay, you're going to be next. Like, basically
people
told
were
them
asking
that.
who's going, and they had to be people from his congregation,
right.
basically.
So he comes up with this fucking plan that will get these people out of this and get them back on the good side of God.
Yeah.
And that's by every one of their wives. They basically have to depart from their wife. He had all the women come in to his tent, strip for him, masturbate for him, while
Dance
Alice sat, and he was covered by a sheet, but Alice was back there jerking him off the whole time. While he's watching every one of them. And now Debbie Alvarez, that's his cousin. So I always thought that was
watching
fucked
his
up.
cousin dancing around too.
And then he also decides to take 2 of the women as his wife.
Right, the one.
Yeah, so now he's out there with Alice, these 2 women that are his wife, and this is what he's trying to feed these people. And then, like Pete said, shit's getting a little fucking rough. They don't got no fucking food. They're fucking struggling. So he's like, oh, we're going to move everything out to California. We're going to go out there first.
Right.
And
check
then we'll send for you or come back for you.
Right.
And they just leave.
Right.
There's some weird thing about like the whole part of the dancing thing too is how he picked who his second wife was going third
by
wife
their vagina.
Yeah, the vision that he had of God showing him a vision of a vagina.
Yeah.
And so he had them dance around. He's like,
there's the vagina.
There's the vagina.
Oh, wow.
Like, for real.
That sounds like Crazy Mike talking some girl into the bathroom to take a picture of her tits. Yeah. So that is a con fucking job of all, right? So months go by, nothing happens. They move out to California. June 3rd, 1990, so 9 months after the murders, another tip from a former cult member, Larry Johnson, leads the police to the abandoned farm in Ohio where they discover the Avery family in the pit.
Because fucking Kevin Curry didn't know about the murders, of course. So now it took another person that was in the cult to finally let them know what happened. Because, like we said, the fucking FBI and the fucking police went to the barn the day after the murders to talk about the temple takeover. They fucking questioned everybody, but then whenever they went back, somebody noticed, hey, nobody talked to the Avery family, and they were like, oh, it probably wasn't that important anyway. It was basically their attitude.
Right.
So they didn't follow up on it, and they just assumed whenever the family left that they left with them.
Right.
So there was no reason to think there was even a missing person at that point. So
True.
finally, Larry comes out, like you said, and fucking is like, oh, actually, there's 5 bodies buried in this barn.
Yeah. And they find him. But, Larry was one of the ones that his wife was, taken from him by Jeff.
Right. He was
in the whole
salty
polygamous.
about that.
So he was pretty fucking pissed. So Jeff just pissed off the wrong fucking father.
And I'm
husband.
pretty positive that his ex-wife, I could be wrong about this, is the cult member that ended up fathering Jeffrey's youngest kid.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you're
who's
right.
still raising it.
I think you're right.
Yeah, and is still faithful to him.
Yeah, that's fucked up. So they're now fugitives, and the FBI is involved. So they're out in California. The FBI is looking for them. The ATF raids a hotel room between San Diego and Mexico where the Averys were staying. They had an arsenal, a bunch of AR-15s, some handguns, some survival gear.
The Averys weren't staying there.
Oh, I'm sorry, not the Averys. Yeah, no.
The
Lundgrens. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I think I could be wrong about this. I'm pretty sure they used the Averys credit cards too.
Yeah,
I think you're right. That may be where I messed up there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right.
Yeah, I think you're right. So they're arrested with the two other of the cult members. So Lundgren, his wife, and 10 of the cult total. Beyond them were indicted for murder. So they fucking caught up to him pretty quick. Joey, did not take him long. Didn't seem like Jeff was very good at covering his tracks.
No, it was pretty fucking... I mean, he was being looked at so fucking hard.
Using the Avery credit card.
Using the credit card. I mean, he looked like his picture. I mean, he's a very fucking noticeable person.
Dude, the mullet is righteous.
Yeah. And through all this shit, too, like... There's drama going on because he's got Kathy Johnson living out there in a fucking another hotel.
Right.
And he's like spending time between seeing her and seeing fucking, Alice and fucking, it's just causing fucking drama everywhere.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He was on the move too fucking much. He was in a fucking, it wasn't like he went to fucking nowhere.
Right.
He, moved out to the West Coast to California. It's like there's people that are going to notice.
Yeah. He just wasn't good at covering his tracks, so he gets caught. Now, the prosecution said they were expecting an insanity defense, but that never came about. He continued to claim that he talked to God. I did see Alice went on trial first, and several witnesses said that she was very much a part of it all, and she even had it, like we were talking about on video of the police talking to her, and she said you'd have to be an idiot to not know what was going to happen. So she knew.
She's going to die in prison too.
Yeah.
What did she get, 150 years?
Something like that, yeah. Jeffrey goes on trial in 1990. He's acting all nonchalant in the courtroom, reading his Bible.
He's just rocking back.
Yeah,
and forth,
just totally what the fuck ever.
Fuck.
He blamed his behavior on his strict religious upbringing and the way the RLDS church were into revelations and encouraging that sort of thing.
And this fucking shit. Like,
dude,
everybody gets to make a closing argument or statement or whatever.
Yeah, 5 hours later.
5 hours
preaching
of preaching, and it starts out, I am a prophet. I am more than a prophet.
Yeah.
5 hours. And we were watching that fucking doc. Me and Cash were like, that poor stenographer, man.
Right?
Jesus
wow. Hands just fucking flying.
God damn
did you see the one prosecutor that said,
Steve
if
LaTourette,
I had a gun in that courtroom, I would have shot him. That's fucked up. I mean, to say that, you know? So that's how mad he was. What a fucking pompous ass. So he's, the jury's not buying this shit. He's convicted, receives 5 death sentences for murder and kidnapping, 1 for each of the Averys. Alice, like you said, Chris, she got 5 life sentences herself. So she was spared the death penalty, but she's not going anywhere.
I mean, because she was, they found her, I can't remember, was guilty of conspiracy for murder. Because,
Something
like
like
I said,
that.
she wasn't technically at the fucking location.
Right.
She just knew.
But the charge was the
about
same.
it, yeah.
The charge was the same.
same.
Damon.
So that's for all you motherfuckers out there that think you're going to get away with that for not being around with your friend kill somebody.
That's right.
When you know they're going to do it.
So be careful.
That's right. Their son Damon got 120 years to life. Ronald Luff, the key cult member who helped really plan it all, got 170 to life. Daniel Kraft, the other key member, he got 50.
I think he's the one that had the chainsaw out there.
I think you're right. 5 of the others were released in 2010 and 2011 after serving 20, and the other followers were given 1-year sentences for obstruction of justice. So everybody got something, like Christmas,
Yeah.
Everybody
got a little something, huh? On October 24th, 2006, Jeffrey Lundgren was due to be executed. I love this. He's so fucking cocky. He thought he was going to get a stay, so he slept in most of the morning. Last day he's alive, he's just laying in there sleeping.
I mean, what else? What
I
difference
guess.
does it make?
I know, but it's just kind of fucked up. You know, like you only got a few hours left. You're just going to crash. That's how relaxed he was, though. I mean, who could sleep when you know you're going to be executed? When they led a shocked Lundgren to his death, there was no one there on his behalf. He was executed by lethal injection in the Southern Ohio Correctional Facility in Lucasville. And Joey, his last words, kind of tender here, little message.
Yeah, he was like, I'd like to profess my love for God, my family, and my beloved wife. I am because you are.
That was it.
And I don't know if he was talking to fucking Alice or Kathy or
I don't know.
Yeah,
All the above.
Yeah.
Plug your name in like a Mad Lib. You know? What a total piece of shit. No one claims his body, so he's buried in just a prison grave on the grounds there. The Avery family, I thought this was nice. The church in Missouri raised the money to have him brought to Missouri and buried properly and all that. So that's cool. Awful though, awful story and just absolutely insane. But anything you guys want to add to that one, Chris, Joey?
I think we're good.
I think we covered that one pretty well.
Yeah.
So hopefully you guys learned something about a crazy motherfucker you probably didn't know about. So now I did my research with a variety of sources. I always try to, watch a couple different things, listen to a podcast or two, and do some reading. A couple of good documentaries on YouTube. There was an American Justice with Bill Curtis. Those are always great. He's awesome. And then, Joey, you have that book, Prophet of Death. We referenced it a couple times by Pete Early.
That's what this DVD is. This is the one with Bill Curtis.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's a good one. There's another one that was good, too. I don't remember the other one, but the Bill Curtis one was good. The podcast Cults did a very good two-parter on this. And Murderpedia had some great articles. They always do. Love that website. A lot of good newspaper articles. I think the Cleveland Dealer had quite a bit of it because they were only 20 miles away.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff out there. So if you're interested in this story, I mean, it happened in the modern age with newspapers and TV documentaries and all sorts of footage of it. So there's plenty out there if you're interested, but it's just not a household name. So a lot of people probably were not aware of him. So.
I had another book that
what was the other one, Joe?
It's called Cults Uncovered, and it's by Emily Thompson, and it's actually really good. It's got some of the lesser known cults, but also some of the bigger ones.
Okay.
But they actually brought up the Kirtland cult, which I think is what they just called it. Without the name.
Right.
But I didn't really learn anything new from it, only because, like I said, I've been knowing about this forever and fucking definitely looked into it a lot.
Oh, sure.
But it was still, she covered some very good stuff in it, and some of the other stories I've read in it are good. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Now, next week, we're going to be doing a hell of a crazy case. I'm really looking forward to this one. Heading down to Jennings, Louisiana. Going to have Tex on with us for that one. That'll be fun. Tex has his new Yeti microphone now. He's all cocky like CK. So Tex is going to be recording himself a little more high tech. Not sure if he's going to be at the Boudreaux Inn or not. I still don't know. But we're going to be doing the Jeff Davis 8 case where 8 young women were murdered between 2005 and 2009 in Bayou Country, in a town of like 10,000 people. So that's a lot of young girls ending up dead.
In a short period of time in a
small town like that. So pretty fucked up. It's very sad. But if you were drawn to our Sugar Babe episode where we did the case of Vera Jo Regal.
419, ho.
That's right. Where all that 419 and the punky and all that shit comes from. You're going to love this one because it's like that times 10 because there's like a whole bunch of people. And the
cast of characters
that one Richard dude, the fucking drunk, fucked up dude, that by itself is just a train wreck of a fucking human being. So it's going to be a crazy case, a bunch of toothless, methed out, coked out fucking people. It's fucking crazy. Very, very tangled web of murder and mayhem. Tex told me about that story, and I went and checked out the docuseries Murder on the Bayou, and it's fantastic. And I'm hoping that he makes the trip 5 hours from where he lives to the Boudreaux Inn.
I need to see it. I haven't seen the docuseries.
Oh,
I
yeah.
read the book though.
Okay,
but I didn't read.
Yeah,
I didn't
the
see
docuseries is good, so it's going to be next week.
And I got a mayhem story. To tell from our trip in Mississippi.
Oh, perfect.
I haven't even. I don't even know.
Yeah. That'll be good. So we've done our fair share of murdering tonight, guys. I hear that familiar music. CK is getting ready to fucking throw down some metal knowledge. So, Joey, what the fuck do we got to do?
Let's get our metal on.
Known the world over as the master of metal, the crusher of posers, and Murder Metal Mayhem's knower of all things metal, hailing from Wildman Street in Danbury, Connecticut, standing at 6 feet of brutal, punishing madness, weighing in at 220 pounds of poser pulverization, the one, the only, toughest bastard on the planet, Chris C.K. Kovacs!
There he is. Great metal motherfucker. What's up, CK?
Yo, what's up, my bitches?
Oh, there he goes again with the bitches thing.
Sorry, that's
ever
just
since his boy WVK
That's
won
right.
the fight.
Ever since WVK won, he's all cocky now. Oh my god, we should need to update the intro song with the killer cage match. Whatever title, crown, what have you, belt. But good to have you on, CK.
No, that's the COVID shot talking.
Yeah.
That's right. So you got a good one on tap tonight, a good, metalhead all the way, and interesting one. So why don't you take it from here? And also I wanted to recognize our listener out there, Rachel, who is a huge CK fan.
That was awesome.
Yeah, her mom said that she edits the show so she can only hear the metal segment, which is good, I think, for a 6-year-old.
Right.
Yeah, my wife was like, "But you swear?" I go, "I don't swear that much."
No, it's not as bad as, especially what we just did. It was pretty bad. So anyway, she only lets her listen to the metal segment. She's a huge CK fan. She always asks how he's doing, and she sent us a picture of the little kid throwing up the horns.
Oh yeah, dude,
that was awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you.
So
thank you, Rachel.
That's awesome, Rachel, and her mom Elizabeth. Very, very cool.
And I thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. And that picture, and what you said really made my day when you sent it to me. So
that's awesome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So we got our new metalhead out there, 6-year-old Rachel, listening, CK, and you're going to educate her and everybody else with a good one tonight.
We got one of my favorite guitars, definitely the longest guitarist Ozzy Osbourne has ever had.
Right.
And again, my favorite guitars that he's had, the one and only Zakk Wylde.
Nice.
Now, Zakk Wylde was born in New Jersey. I think it was Bayonne, New Jersey, to be probably accurate. Started playing guitar at an early age. Worked in a music store, like from the age 14. So he was, definitely hooked at an early age to metal and rock. And at age 19, he auditioned for Ozzy, replacing the one and only Jakey Lee. And obviously he got the job because he played with Ozzy up until pretty much 2007. He wasn't on his last two solo albums, but I know he has. When he's been on tour, he's toured with them and played on tour. It's pretty well known that anytime Ozzy needs Zakk will be there for Ozzy.
Right.
Because Ozzy gave him his break, so he'll always be there for, as he calls him, the boss.
Be like, goddamn son of darkness, yes, I'll be there.
He refers to Ozzy as the boss.
Hey, Springsteen's the boss.
Fuck Springsteen.
Fuck Springsteen.
Can't stand that fucking prick. Sorry about that.
But he's been pretty much Ozzy's guitar since 2007. 2007, we went through when we went through the Ozzy stuff. I'm not really gonna get to it again, but 2007. After that, Ozzy found Gus G, and his last album he used another guitarist. But
I got a question, CK.
Yeah.
So how long was it between Randy Rhoads and Zakk Wylde?
Well, Rhoads was 1980. He died in 81, 82?
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, so it was
Zakk was 89, I believe.
Oh, okay, yeah, so there was a pretty good gap.
Gillis was between
the whole time.
Right after
Gillis was just
Rhodes, just as a fill-in for
Gillis
live.
just filled in for tour dates because they didn't have anybody else.
That's that Ozzy live album that he's on.
The Speak of the Devil.
Yeah.
Which he did all Sabbath tunes. And on the side note, the only reason why he did the Sabbath tunes was he thought it was too early to do
Randy's
he didn't
stuff.
he didn't want to capitalize on Zack's death. He owed the record to
Randy's
Epic.
death,
Yeah, Randy's death. He owed a live record to Epic.
Yeah.
Right.
So he decided to do the Sabbath tunes instead.
Right.
To be honest, that's actually pretty cool. He did that instead of
instead of just taking the Randy songs and going.
And it still took him forever to release a live album with Randy. Anyway, it took him to like 87, 88.
Yeah.
To release a live album with Randy. But anyways, getting back to Zakk. Zakk again was born in New Jersey. Auditioned for Ozzy, got the job, recorded a few albums for Ozzy. And in early 90s, it was like 91, 92, he had a side project called Pride and Glory, which he did and put out. And it was like it was kind of a cross between Sabbath and Leonard Skinner, to pretty much put it.
Huh.
Hard rock, heavy metal, but with a southern rock influence to it. Zakk never hit that. He was influenced by southern rock. He loves Leonard Skinner and Molly Hatchet and all those bands. So he never said he didn't like it, even though he is a huge metalhead. So he had that band going for a while between tours of Ozzy and all that. And that disbanded in 94. 98, he was bringing stuff to Ozzy, songs and ideas he was bringing to Ozzy. And I said, this stuff is like kind of too heavy for what we're doing. He goes, you should go and do a side project and put these songs out because it's really good. So in 98, he formed... Well, he actually did a solo album in 97, I believe, Book of Shadows, which was kind of like a acoustic kind of rock jam thing that he did.
Okay.
Didn't get a lot of praise for it, and a lot of people didn't even really know about it. But in 98, he decided he was going to form Black Label Society instead of just doing a solo thing, and actually have a real band. And he's had a bunch of band members around that time, and I'm not going to go through each band member because we'll be here for fucking ever. He's shit. Give me 1 second. Lost my shit.
Always be
Zakk Wylde's real name's Jeffrey Philip Whelan?
Jeffrey Winelet or something like that.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah. Jeffrey Philip Winelet.
Yep.
That's funny.
Yeah. I don't know how he got to. I tried to look up how he got to Zakk from, and
yeah,
I couldn't find why he got to Zakk from. But he did have some name people in his band at times. Just go through a couple of them. He had Rob Trujillo, Mike Inez, John Kelly from Typo Negative, a couple others, James Lomenzo from White Lion. So he's had name people in his band at times.
And Rob Trujillo, of course, played for Ozzy before Metallica.
Ozzy, right.
Right.
Yep.
So did they play together at the same time?
Yeah.
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 So that makes sense too.
Yeah, and Inez too. He was with Ozzy.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
He was at Ozzy for a little while, yeah.
Yeah.
He was on the, his picture is on the, No More Tears album, but he didn't play. It was actually Bob Daisley.
Right. Yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit.
That's fucked up. They put his picture and he didn't actually.
Yeah.
Bob Daisley, CK and I have talked about this. We could easily do a bonus episode just on all the shit that happened to Bob Daisley. Even just the Ozzy shit would be enough to do like a legit episode on it. It's that ridiculous what they did to that guy. Yeah.
Him and Lee Kerslake.
Yeah, it's awful.
And one day we'll have to do an episode on that because
we will.
That was fucked up.
Uh-huh.
And Black Label Society put out their first album entitled Sonic Brew in '99. It was actually recorded in '98, but by the time he got a record deal, it was '99. He got the record deal with Spitfire Records, and that album kind of didn't do too bad, but it was fucking heavy as hell. I mean, you listen to it, and you know why he
couldn't
formed
do that
his own
stuff
band,
with
and
Ozzy,
these weren't Ozzy tunes,
right?
And he actually, put out his second album quickly in 2000, Stronger Than Death, and he actually did his own version of No More Tears on it, which is awesome.
Huh.
A little bit heavier version. I think it was I believe it was on that album. It was either on Sonic Brew or Stronger Than Death. He did do No More Tears.
Right.
And
it's just like Joey, version. When Joey's writing Goremonger songs. I mean, if it's not a Goremonger song, it could very well be a Britney Fox tune.
Right.
So
right there you go.
Speaking of Britney Fox, I just want to say something. In 1991, he did a fucking guitar solo for Britney Fox's song "Six Guns Loaded."
Oh no! Oh god!
Nice.
Just loses a couple of points there.
I don't know. I didn't even know you guys knew any Britney Fox songs because I couldn't name you one.
Yeah. It's just funny. It's been an ongoing joke with Joey.
Poser Patrol.
Yeah, for sure.
But Stronger Than Death was another strong album, heavy album that he put out. And he was pretty consistent from '99 to up until 2010. He was pretty consistent on putting out an album every couple years. I mean, between the Ozzy stuff, because he put out Osmosis. I know he did in '95 with Ozzy, and after that he did I think it was a Down to Earth album he did. So between all the Ozzy touring and all the Ozzy stuff, he was pretty consistent with keeping up with Black Label Society.
Yeah.
1919 he released 1919 Eternal, which I believe had something to do with his dad's birthday. His parents had him when they were really older. I think his dad was like in his 50s, mid 50s when he had him or something like that, and he was in World War II.
Oh wow!
And Zach's actually your age, Pete.
Yeah.
Because I think he's a year older than me. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'm 54. So shit.
2002, 1919 Eternal. 2003, he put out The Blessed Hell Ride. 2004, Hangover Music Volume 6. Mafia in 2005, Shot to Hell in 2006.
Damn.
And that's an album every year of consistent stuff that's really good. And the material wasn't shit either. It wasn't filler material. It was good material.
All jam and shit.
That's cool.
He wasn't just putting out stuff just to put out stuff. It was decent material that deserved to be put out. And up until 2006, he was pretty much doing an album a year. Up until that, he didn't do Order of the Black till 2010, which is probably my favorite Black Label Society album. Really good album. 2014, he did Catacombs of the Black Vatican. And the latest was in 2018, he did Grimace Hits. And 2017, he did Hangover Music Volume 2 as a solo album. So, he's been pretty consistent over the years. Pretty much now, Black Label is his full-time band since Ozzy is using other people at this time. Ozzy's recording another album as we speak, and he's using the same, I believe it's the same guitarist he used last time, which is his producer, Andrew something or another.
Right. Very cool.
Other things, Zach, his kids are named after one kid's named Sabbath.
Nice.
What's the other kid's name? It's funny because I was laughing as I was Hendrix, Sabbath, and a couple are normal names like Jesse and Haley.
That's
and Jesse's godfather. Huh?
Hendrix.
Yeah, Hendrix. That's what it was.
Jimi Hendrix, dude.
Jimi Hendrix, dude.
Dude. And there's been rumors about him, subbing for Dimebag and Pantera reunions.
Right.
Obviously, nothing has come up of that. And that's pretty much for Zach. All the stuff is available. Get it, stream it, preferably. Buy anything digital, buy anything that could support these guys. Again, I'm pushing,
physical copy.
Physical stuff.
Yeah.
One tidbit about Zach Wild I want to add, just because, mostly because my friend Stephanie, she's also an avid Aqua Teen Hunger Force fan like I am.
Okay.
But in season 2, Zach Wild was in an episode because Shake, he hired him to do the birthday song, a metal version. Nice. And Zach Wild's in it the whole time. It's just fucking hilarious.
That's great. That's funny. Well, CK, you got a lost classic for us this week again.
Yes, I do.
What do you got?
And does anybody know who this band is?
I have no fucking idea.
I wasn't sure.
There was a band before Brian Johnson. With
AC/DC.
Before he was in AC/DC.
In AC/DC, this is the band Geordie.
Right.
I was just I totally forgot about him, and I was like just going through stuff, and I saw it, and I was like, holy shit! And Don't Be Fooled by the Name is the name of the album.
I love that. I love that album title, though.
Right.
The band's Jordan. It's like, don't be fooled by the name, bro.
They have 4 other albums, and they're all good albums. And, they're pretty much in kind of like early AC/DC type hard rock stuff. And Brian Johnson's voice on some of that early stuff sounds nothing like he does now.
I was going to say, what does he sound like? I didn't listen to it.
Sounds nothing like when he went to AC/DC.
Okay.
Towards the later albums on Geordie, he was starting to get the little bit raspier thing, but sometimes you gotta look and see, is he actually singing on this song?
That's funny.
Double check the credits.
That's funny.
Because he doesn't sound like Brian Johnson.
That's funny.
And they have a box. I think they just came out with a box set with the 4 albums plus a bonus disc. So check that out, and those are available for streaming as well.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, I hear that music from across the pond tells us we're going to talk about some shit we've been listening to. So let's jam that. 666. All right, some Onslaught 666 tells us we're going to talk about what the hell we've been listening to lately. Start with you, Chris Shawback. What you been jamming?
Before me and Cashman left my place, I was listening to fucking Bleeding, Cannibal Corpse and shit.
Nice. That's fucking brutal, dude.
Fucking love that album.
Yeah.
Other than that, over the weekend and shit, I was listening to some Vision of Disorder. It's fucking...
Long Island hardcore.
Dude, fucking right, man. Some Suicidal Tendencies. He was playing Bags of Cash. I was listening to Hang 3 and Cash was like, put on something not so sad, dude. I was listening to some of that. Fucking.
That's cool.
Random shit, dude, here and there. Fucking, yeah.
Awesome. Joey, what about you, dude?
Oh, 3 Bar Ranch, dude. Sorry,
dude.
3 Bar Ranch. I like 3 Bar Ranch.
2 Bar Ranch.
3 Bar Ranch.
Oh, 3 Bar.
It's Hank 3, but it's metal riffs. But then he puts fucking auctioneer fucking over top of it, and
he's a weird dude, man.
It's so I love it though, dude.
He's so a weird fucking dude.
And of course, now Hank 4.
Yeah, there's Hank
the 4th.
Yeah, Hank 3's son just put some shit out.
Yeah, he just put something out.
Damn.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was he like? How old is he?
I don't know. We'll link you to it though, CK.
Yeah.
It's worth listening
definitely.
to. Like, it's not bad at all. Anyway, so yeah, listen to that. But I went and got some new CDs down at North Street Records here in Bloomington.
Yeah.
Primus.
Yeah, I got that Primus fucking Frizzle Fry. I couldn't believe it was the Caroline fucking Records
The
version.
original one.
So I grabbed
original
that,
version.
and I got a couple Lang Chi albums. Them dudes are sick as fuck. I also been listening to the advanced tracks from New Standard Elite's putting out. I mean, they've got a lot of shit coming out, but 2 albums they're putting out, I just pre-ordered. One's Flesh Order from Texas.
Who are badass.
Yeah, they're fucking sick as fuck. And then the other one is Cerebral Effusion from Germany, and those dudes are fucking just heavier than shit. So both of those albums are probably going to go down as 2 of my favorites 2021, I'm sure.
Nice. What about you, CK?
New Cannibal Corpse.
Fuck yeah. I haven't heard all of it. I heard about half of it so far. It's fucking brutal, that's for sure.
Been listening to that. Been listening to
the new video is sick, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Been listening to that band Courses you turned me on to.
Yeah.
That's basically it this week. It was with everything going on, I really haven't been able to listen to a lot of shit. Had a busy week, so
yeah. Well, I've been jamming the hell out of that Corsus, man. That is so fucking brutal. Legion and then Disciple of Hate. Those 2 albums are absolutely amazing. Definitely worth checking out. I've been digging on them from Brazil. I ordered a DVD they have of the history of the band, which is probably going to be all in Portuguese, but I didn't buy it for that. I bought it for all the live stuff.
Yeah.
It's a shitload of live stuff that they did.
I mean, you said they've been out since '83, so shit.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty in depth, pretty cool.
Because there's a thing on Amazon Prime about the Scorpions. It's like a documentary of their history.
Yeah, it's all.
I was like
German.
getting ready to watch it. Sleep out the early days and all that. It's all in German.
Yeah, I could deal with it if they put subtitles, but I don't know if they will.
I can't deal with the subtitles.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
I don't like, but I was surprisingly I watched. What was that? Narcos. I liked that, and it was all subtitled.
Yeah, I tried to watch it.
I liked it. So sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't.
Being into horror movies the way I am, I dealt with
Italian
it a
ones,
lot.
Now, Power Trip, still Nightmare Logic. I bought the physical copy, CK, and I've been having it in my stereo.
So you have to be loving it if you bought it.
Yeah, I did really like it that much that I bought the CD. So definitely been jamming that stuff. And I reached out to Corsus to see if they wanted to do a interview with us, and Antonio, the guitar player, was totally down. So we're going to be interviewing him next Sunday, and that'll be used for a future episode and feature on them, and well worthy of it. They're great, and they've been doing this shit forever. So all right, the 666 Club, we've been talking about it. It's our Patreon, way you can support Murder Metal Mayhem. Go to patreon.com/Murder Metal Mayhem. $3 a month. Get the episodes a day early. Get the notes from the show. You get the karaoke as soon as it's done. Get some of that bonus stuff. We're getting ready to roll out. We're going to keep it secret for a little longer, but we are going to roll out one of our Patreon-only episodes in June. So we'll surprise you with it as we get close to it.
A lot of people listen to the Dahmer one. So
yeah, a lot of people love the Dahmer one. We're going to do the same thing with one of the others. So, Joey, you got a big show coming up, though, in Florida, don't you?
Yeah, next weekend.
When is that? What's the date for our listeners?
It's May 8th at the Brass Mug. I said Brass Rail last week. Michael called me out, which that's
in Peoria.
That's in Peoria, I know.
Or was.
Yeah, but it's at the Brass Mug in Tampa, Florida. Coat Hanger Abortion, Dark Star Coven, Minstrel Moonshine, me. I can't remember who else, but
Moonshine.
some really good bands, and I'm excited to play that. So
Very cool.
me and the brothers Shawback, we're all gonna fly out there.
Oh boy!
Hell yeah!
Damn, they're gonna. Chris,
You guys get around,
Chris, you're
man.
not on the no-fly list.
Nope.
That's good.
Not yet.
Hopefully, he doesn't
Not
pull a
yet.
Mick on the 666 Express. So,
Also, like 2 days after this episode comes out, you're probably in the show in Galesburg, Illinois.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
We're playing
the-
Squatch's campfire cookout party, which that's
Dude,
like
the
the most
lineup-
reunion fucking show.
Dude,
Like sexual
Extraction
atrocities,
Point,
putrid
Sexual
pile.
Atrocities,
Yep.
Putrid Pile, Toxic Ruin, Pit Lord, fucking so fucking Handsome Pricks playing, dude. Fucking good show. Necro Cannibal. It's gonna be a good show.
I'm
dude.
doing
Nice.
double duty that day because I'm doing the Goremonger, but I'm also doing a Burnt to a Crisp.
Oh yeah,
with
doing Burnt to a
Alex.
Crisp with Alice. That's right.
Fuck yeah. Well, that's awesome. Got some shit going on. I have seen some bands putting out tour dates. Seen
Yeah.
Deicide and
Like
Eternal
I said, that
Bleeding.
one's 2 days after this episode airs. So
Yeah.
if you're hearing this episode,
Yeah, go check it
Saturday.
out. In Galesburg, Illinois.
Yep.
Yeah, so it looks like things are starting to come back to a little bit of
Little bit,
normalcy.
yeah, a little
for
bit.
the most part.
Don't
and
forget.
It's at Willis's Steel Corporation too. Sorry, my bad.
No, that's okay. That's all right. Don't forget to order one of our new T-shirts. You got the link to that in the episode description. The new Jeff Gaither design, some zombies of us on the front, and Murder Metal Mayhem, and
It's
a
awesome.
blood spatter on the back. So
If you fucking join the Patreon, you can get fucking 10% off the merch too.
that's
Yeah.
right, and that's another advantage of the Patreon. So I linked to that in the episode description. If you want to buy one of our shirts, we got large, extra large, and 2X left. So. All right, well, we've done plenty of metal tonight. So, CK, what the fuck do we need to do?
We got to get a man.
Jesus, we need you now. Doomsday, Jesus, we need you now.
Oh, hi. I'm known as the Weepy Voice Killer. Oh, as you can imagine, I've been picked on my whole life because of my voice. Oh, it was not fun, believe me. Oh. But I didn't let that stop me. No way, Jose. Oh. Now I'm an MMA fighter, known as WVK. And I'm stopping ass in the ring every night. Oh, and boy, am I stopping ass. Oh, you can do it too. Let my motivational speeches help you come out of your shell too. Oh, all you gotta do is call me at 1-800-WEEPY-NO-MORE. And let's turn the tables around today. Oh, if you mention WVK when you call, we'll send you 2 of my motivational CDs for the price of 1. Oh, you can't beat it. If you don't buy them, I'm gonna have to kick your ass. Oh, thank you. Oh.
Oh, my God. Wow. Weepy Voice commercial. Before that, of course, Black Label Society, Doomsday Jesus, perfect pick, CK. You nailed it with that one with the Jeffrey Lundgren episode with that song. So that was great. But the Weepy Voice motivational speaker, that was good. I set you to some nice classical soothing music.
I know,
It's
I liked
perfect.
it.
So there we go. And here we are. We're in Mayhem, guys. And I know that this episode's here closing in on 2 hours.
Yeah.
So I know we said we were going to hold off on any Mayhem stories.
Yeah.
We still got some stuff to talk about, though.
Listen, I got a good one for next week for the fucking...
Oh, that'll be great.
Yeah, for the Bayou shit.
That'll be perfect. That'll be perfect. Now, last week I released episode 8 of the Voice of Dread podcast. That was the one of me reading the short story I wrote, The Last Supper, with some additional commentary about why I wrote it and some behind-the-scenes stuff that the readers like. And so you can go check that out at voiceofdread.com. And this weekend, pretty excited about this one, episode 9 I'll be recording with my buddy Sean Ferrugia of In Malice's Wake. He's a big Lovecraft fan, and we're going to talk about the Necronomicon, which is going to be cool. very influential, and it was a complete fabrication by Lovecraft, but so many people believe it. There's been all this story or lore about it, but there was somebody that made a card for the card catalog at the Yale Law Library for the Necronomicon.
No shit.
And they thought it was like real, like people were looking for this shit. Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. So there's been all sorts of jokes about the Necronomicon, like inside jokes, like a bunch of authors of that era were saying, like, you know, when they were interviewed what their influences were, and it was the Necronomicon, like it was real. But it's not real. It's just a fabrication.
What,
so,
you never seen Evil Dead? That's just real, dude.
Yeah, it is. Very real. So we're going to talk about that. That should be fun. And that episode comes out Monday, April 26th. So you can
I'm stoked to hear
put
that.
that on. That should be fun. So.
yeah.
Also, I've been making good progress on the audio recording of the new book, Creation of Chaos 3. Got 4 of the stories done, 7 more to go. Hired Brad Tucker because, man, I'm just trying to get through these, and I looked at the 12,000 word count of A Dreadful Life. And I thought, man, I'd really like Brad to do that one. So Brad's going to do that one. And he's also going to redo the 666 Express. And so there'll be those 2 on the audiobook with me doing the rest.
With also the original 666 Express.
Yes, we're going to do the one with all of our voices and the sounds and the music will be also on there as well. So the listeners can listen to either one that they want to. So hopefully a little variety, kind of shaking up the audiobook world. I don't know how many people that do audiobooks put music and shit on theirs, but I'm going to do it, you know, so why not? So it's going to be good, and I'm hoping to have audiobook, Kindle, and physical copies out by the end of June. I'll keep you guys posted, but getting close. Brian Usual's going to have the back cover done this week. And then all the art would have been done. And so it's just a matter of getting this manuscript in final form to make sure everything is exactly right. And then it's off to Amazon to print. So we'll keep you posted. Also, I did a 90-minute interview on the podcast, The Claw's Corner. I did it a while ago, a couple months back. But Rich, he edits them up. It's pretty nice. It's a video interview. 90 minutes long. I'll tell you what, I don't think I've ever been interviewed so in depth in my fucking life. This dude, he started talking about the blunt force trauma demo and the kill floor demo and different questions from Low 12.
Right.
The demos, he was going through all the demos, like, oh my God, we're going to be here all fucking night, you know. It was unbelievable. But Rich is a good dude. I've known him for a long time. He's also going to be on an upcoming Voice of Dread with me. But Rich is cool. We get into the Low 12 stuff very in depth, and then all the writing stuff as well. Murder, Metal, Mayhem. I mean, I talk about, well, like I said, 90 minutes. We talk about a lot of stuff. And so I posted the link on our Facebook page. I will also post the link here in the episode description, so if you want to check that out. All right, guys, we got a killer cage match to get to tonight. Chris, we have a few listeners we wanted to say thank you to.
Yeah, once again, CK's lovely wife, Laura Kovacs.
Yes.
Thank you.
Nice.
Mason Robertson and Rebecca Boomsock.
Awesome.
Fuck yeah.
Loving it. They provide us those random numbers, and then as our loyal listeners know, but we always get new listeners who want to make sure they know what's going on. We made a list of 70 killers, just random serial killers, mass murderers, just pieces of shit. And then a list of 70 objects, things like machetes and chainsaws and double-headed dildos. I mean, there's all sorts of things on there. And then a list of variables that keeps changing, gets kind of crazy. However, these listeners provide us random numbers, and that's how we know who's going to fight. So, Joey, who do we got fighting in the cage to the death tonight?
We have the guy who liked to send coded letters to newspapers and cops.
Right.
Zodiac. We don't know who he is,
right?
But he's here in the killer cage match.
Right.
And he's going to be fighting against that pig farmer from fucking Canada, known to the fucking hookers as Stinky, Mr. Robert Pinkton.
Yeah, nasty motherfucker. Fed him to the hogs, supposedly. So
fucked him into the hogs.
They'll have a gun. They've got a couple of objects, though, CK, that that they're going to be fighting with. And this first one we've had in the cage before.
It'll be a gun that shoots high pressure semen and a leather belt to fight with.
Nice.
And the variable is an old Creole man after drinking a quart of moonshine.
Oh boy!
Who, Tex?
Unaffected. I don't know. It could be.
Is that Creole or what's his name? Robert? Okay.
Yeah, we're going to be busting that one out next week. So we've got Robert Pickton and Zodiac. And Zodiac, I'm picturing with that outfit he wore with the guys at the women at the park, or the couple at the park. I'm picturing that as Zodiac. So him in that garb versus the stinky pig farmer from Vancouver
with his fucking stained ass wife beater, and
right, stanky stained ass wife beater. And they got a gun that shoots high pressure semen and a leather belt. And a variable of an angry old Creole man after drinking a quart of moonshine. Wow, that's a tongue twister. We got them going in the cage. Joey, I'm going to throw it at you. What do you think, dude?
So you got fucking the Zodiac and you got Robert Pickton. Now, Zodiac, it's a gun that shoots semen, but it's a gun, and he did like the guns. And there's also a fucking leather belt, and he liked to fucking tie people up. So he's got the fucking things that he likes in there. Now, the problem is Robert Pickton's like, I like guns too, and I like semen. And he's like, I had horses on my farm that shoot high-powered semen into my bitches. So
and the Creole man's like, I seen it.
I seen it.
And fucking,
he's probably not too affected, Chris, by that quart of moonshine.
I really think that fucking Robert Pickton and fucking the old Creole man are gonna fucking definitely get along pretty well.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like, oh, you got some moonshine? And he's gonna fucking invite him over, and they're gonna end up fucking soaking the Zodiac with the cum gun.
Oh wow!
Oh, you bastard! That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
CK, I was just gonna ask you, what is your take on it? You think Pickton's gonna take him?
I think it's like Chris said. I mean, not Chris. Joey said. I think the old Creole guy and Pickton are gonna tag team and take Zodiac down.
Wow. I think we're on the same page because I had the same shit. Pickton and fucking...
Man, nobody has faith in the Zodiac?
Nah,
dude. I don't know.
Nah, dude, the Creole and the fucking Pickton, man, they're tagging up on him.
I don't know. I mean, just to be the opposite, I'm going to go with the Zodiac, but I have nothing to base it on. We don't know who he is. See? He could have been some big burly fuck that would have tore Pickton in two.
Yeah.
Like, Panzram or somebody like that.
It could have been a 13-year-old girl.
It could have been. Yeah. Very possible. Very possible.
Or somebody's dad.
Yeah.
Could have been some crazy motherfucker from fucking Lundgren's fucking church.
Yeah, very.
So, interesting one for sure. So, always fun with Killer Cage match. A big favorite of the show. And the one we did last week was great. And CK, you were going to talk some shit because, of course, you play the character of WVK, and that was quite the victory for WVK.
Yeah, WVK just he let me know he's down in what he calls his dungeon training.
Oh, okay. So he didn't even want to talk?
No, he said he's gonna put something out to you. He's gonna send something to you. He's gonna send you a recording sometime next week.
Oh wow.
Okay. Or between now and next Tuesday, you'll get something.
Is he calling somebody out or what?
Yeah, because I haven't heard anything from Punky. I think Punky's trying to recuperate. He got fucked up pretty good with the chainsaw.
I don't know. He always said was.
I heard Punky went up to Detroit from Toledo, and he's recovering at fucking Dude's place.
Oh wow! Nice.
Yeah, them two are hanging out.
Perfect couple there.
Listening to some Hendrix, dude.
All right. Well, very good. I think we've done plenty of good mayhem tonight. So let's hit that fucking outro. Fuck yeah. CK, Malice's Wake, Religious Holocaust. That was just fucking
Love those guys.
Nasty. I'll tell you what, all those dudes are talented, but Mark, the drummer, is fucking ridiculous. He shows those playthrough videos where he plays the Slayer stuff. It's ridiculous, man. Guy is really fucking good. So, really wicked. All right. And, of course, Religious Holocaust, that song fits the crazy fucking religious story tonight. Bumper music tonight, Little Black Label Society, Crozus, or Corzus, and In Malice's Wake.
You try to write Crocus.
Yeah, that name fucks me up. It's just like, it's got to mean something. I just don't know what it is. CK, of course, your intro music is by who as you burp over there?
Sorry. Crysis.
Very good. And Joey, Murder Metal Mayhem music.
Low 12.
Hell yeah. And the 666 by
Onslaught.
There we go. Go to rottencotton.com. Check them out. They're a sponsor. We appreciate that. They got the sickest t-shirts, stickers, buttons, some awesome comics, graphic novels, all kinds of stuff, man. They got fucking that Black Devil doll. They got those on there, which is pretty crazy. Really good stuff. So 15% off, though, Joey.
Yeah, use that code Mayhem.
That's right. We've already had some listeners take advantage of that, and that is awesome. So go check it out, rottencotton.com. Order some shit. Orders $20 and over, get 15% off just by saying Mayhem at the end as your coupon code. So do that. Check out our other sponsor, spellboundeffectsandart.com.
Tony and all this shit going on once again. Hell yeah.
Amazing, cool body parts and candle or lamps that look like human skin. And
just sick stuff.
All head geaned
the
out.
Sickest shit. Yeah, he's got bath bombs now, CK. How fucking cool is that?
That's awesome.
Yeah, so spellboundeffectsandart.com is where it's at. All this stuff I link to in the episode description. And thank you, all you guys out there listening. We keep seeing the numbers rolling in, and we appreciate everybody out there that's checking it out.
Thank you guys a lot. Once again, you guys are the shit.
Yeah, we had some really good comments this week with the 3-year people listening to that. So, Chris, why don't you read that first one, man?
Thomas Ewing said, I loved the 3-year episode. That was fucking amazing. I learned a lot about the murders in Starved Rock. I really liked the cage match. That was fucking hilarious. And yeah, it was fun to do. Says, I'm a listener from Dallas, Texas.
Hell yeah. Thanks, Thomas.
Right,
that's awesome.
Thank you.
Man.
Appreciate it.
Hell yeah. Joey, what about you?
Roberta Bianca, she said, you guys are my favorites. So funny. I love everything about the show. Congrats on hitting 3 years of what you do.
That's very cool. Thank you, Roberta.
Yeah.
CK, what do you got?
Eric Valentine 78 commented, I love all the underground metal you guys help promote. I used to play in a thrash band in Florida, and I wish this podcast would have been around back then. It would be an honor to be a part of something so fucking awesome.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Eric.
Yeah, that's cool, Eric. Man. Let us know what the band is, Eric. If you got something, we'll play that shit, man.
Yeah, if you got any old demos or anything old,
let
send
us
it to
know.
us.
I'd love to play it. All right, and Chris, the last one. You got to love this name here. Why don't you read that one?
Rodney McBooty. What up, Rodney? Said, love the Jim Jones episode. I've heard a lot of them, but yours is the best one yet. You guys are hilarious, and it's amazing how much I learned about the topics I thought I knew a lot about. Berkowitz was another one you did that I learned quite a bit more. Well, glad to be of help. Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks,
That's
dude.
a pretty good compliment there.
Yeah.
Especially went all the way back to that Berkowitz episode. That's been a while ago. So that's really cool. And also, speaking of the Jim Jones episode, Sean from In Malice's Wake sent me a message about that, said how much he loved it. He, of course, wrote the song that we used in that episode that was about the Guyana tragedy in Jonestown. So he was all about it. He said we did a really great job with that. So that's really cool.
Thanks, Sean.
Don't forget to check out murdermetalmayhem.com to listen to all our past episodes. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we are on pretty much every platform that exists, but Amazon Music, Spotify, Stitcher, CastBox, iTunes, and more. And leave us some comments where you listen, because that helps move us up and gives us a rating, and people are exposed to it. So that we appreciate it.
Yep.
Go support the show by joining our Patreon 666 Club. Link to that in the episode description. $3 a month. It's nothing, but you get some good perks. 10% off the merch. I mean, Joey, shit, you buy a T-shirt and you about paid half your dues for the month. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
So you can go to PeteAltieri.com if you want to pick up one of my books. I got the new book coming out hopefully in June, Creation of Chaos 3, and I'm going to be offering some deals if you buy Creation of Chaos 1, 2, and 3. And I think I'm going to throw in some free Blunt Force press shirts for advanced orders. So I'm going to be doing some stuff with that. So I'll keep you posted. Check out my new podcast, voiceofdread.com, if you dig on horror. And can't let him go without hearing a karaoke song. I was pretty busy this week, and I didn't get a chance to do a new one. But this is a good one. I did this one recently, and it fits this piece of shit that we talked about, Jeffrey Lundgren. So crank it the fuck up, and until next time, keep one foot in the gutter.
And keep your fist gripping the Book of Mormon tightly.
As you beat it upon their heads till they die.
You walked in to the party like you were walking onto a yacht. Your head strategically dipped below one eye. Your scarf, it was apricot. You had one eye in the mirror as you watched yourself gavotte. And all the girls dreamed that they'd be your partner. They'd be your partner, and you're so vain. You probably think this song is about you. You're so vain. I bet you think this song is about you. Don't you? Don't you? You had me several years ago when I was still quite naive. Well, you said that we made such a pretty pair and that you would never leave. But you gave away the things you loved, and one of them was me. I had some dreams, they were clouds in my coffee, clouds in my coffee, and you're so vain. You probably think this song is about you. You're so vain. I bet you think this song is about you. Don't you? Don't you? Fuck yeah! I had some dreams, there were clouds in my coffee, clouds in my coffee, and you're so